By all accounts, we are looking, if we take what's still under the ground into account, we're looking at the largest megalithic site that's ever been created on Earth.
Gobekli Tepe is a site that truly boggles the mind, taking us back over 11,000 years to a time when prehistoric peoples demonstrated remarkable capabilities that challenge our understanding of early human civilization.
The sudden appearance, 7,000 years before Stonehenge, of a megalithic site that dwarfs Stonehenge, to me that's a mystery, and it's really worth inquiring into.
Imagine this. Massive stone pillars, each carved from limestone using nothing more than simple stone tools. It's a task that would require not just considerable skill, but a collective effort from a group of people who had yet to discover the wheel or metal tools. These pillars weren't just any stones, they were shaped into T-forms, a design that's unique to Gobekli Tepe, standing up to 5.5 meters tall and weighing up to 20 tons.
One of the many ways that Gobekli Tepe, I think, is going to prove to be a game changer is it's going to require us to reconsider our whole dating sequence on megalithic sites around the world.
The effort to transport and erect these massive stones without modern technology is nothing short of astonishing. Using levers, ropes and wooden sledges, the people of Gobekli Tepe managed to move these enormous stones over considerable distances, a testament to their ingenuity and teamwork. This wasn't a small feat, it required a high level of social organization and cooperation, suggesting that this community was far from the nomadic bands of hunter-gatherers we often imagine.
So why did archaeologists tell us for so long hunter-gatherers couldn't do it, and we needed agricultural populations that could generate surpluses that could pay for the specialists
that was the theory.
Instead, they were capable of complex planning and communal effort, likely driven by shared beliefs and common goals. The technological innovation and architectural planning evident in Gobekli Tepe's construction are truly ahead of their time. The precision in the carving and erection of the pillars, along with the thoughtful layout of the site, show an advanced understanding of stone masonry and basic engineering principles. This sophistication challenges the simplistic view we often have of prehistoric societies, revealing a people capable of complex thought and remarkable feats of engineering. When you dive into the story of Gobekli Tepe, you're not just exploring ancient ruins, you're stepping into a world where prehistoric peoples pulled off engineering marvels that would be daunting even by today's standards. Picture this. A community back in the 10th millennium BCE, without access to metal tools, the wheel, or any form of animal labor, decides to build something extraordinary. They set their sights on massive limestone pillars, each one towering over 5 meters high and weighing around 10 tons. And they decide to quarry, shape, transport, and erect these giants using nothing but stone hammers, wooden tools, and sheer human will. It's a scenario that might make a modern engineer blink twice. These ancient builders leveraged ingenious methods, likely rolling these colossal stones over logs or dragging them on sleds made from tree trunks, all coordinated by what must have been an incredible communal effort. Just imagine the sight, hundreds of people coming together, each one playing a part in this monumental task. It wasn't just about physical strength, it required a high degree of planning, coordination, and social organization, suggesting that these early communities were far more complex than we often give them credit for. And let's talk about the layout of Gobekli Tepe. It wasn't a haphazard arrangement of stones.
Gobekli Tepe is a bit more nuanced. You know, we have stone circles, we have some interesting astronomical alignments, the world's first perfectly north-south aligned building.
These T-shaped pillars were carefully positioned to form circular enclosures, a testament to the builders' advanced planning and knowledge of stonemasonry. They understood the properties of limestone, knew how to quarry large blocks and shape them with precision. The placement of each pillar was intentional, reflecting a deep understanding of geometry and structural engineering. Gobekli Tepe is like a time capsule that's slowly revealing its secrets to us, and among its most captivating mysteries are the potential astronomical alignments hidden within its ancient stone circles. Imagine standing among these massive pillars over 10,000 years ago, looking up at the night sky. Some researchers think that the people who built Gobekli Tepe did more than just admire the stars. They aligned their monumental structures with them. The idea that these ancient builders could align their creations with constellations like Sirius or Orion, or mark the solstices and equinoxes, is mind-blowing. It suggests they were not just master builders, but also early astronomers, tracking the heavens with an accuracy that challenges our assumptions about prehistoric peoples. This possibility opens up all sorts of fascinating questions about how and why they did this. If the alignments at Gobekli Tepe were intentional, it could mean that these ancient builders had their own form of astronomical observation, maybe even a basic calendar system. Gobekli Tepe and the lack of evidence for permanent settlement presents a fascinating glimpse into the spiritual life of people over 11,000 years ago. This site, rather than serving as a home or village, appears to have been a significant ceremonial or pilgrimage destination. The absence of typical domestic remains such as extensive cooking hearths or trash pits that would indicate long-term habitation suggests that Gobekli Tepe was not a place where people lived year-round. Instead, it was likely visited by various groups for specific purposes, possibly related to religious or spiritual practices. This realization points to a level of social complexity and spiritual or religious depth that predates the advent of agriculture and settled life, challenging the conventional sequence of societal development. The stone pillars of Gobekli Tepe, carved with an impressive array of reliefs and symbols, are among the earliest known examples of narrative art, offering profound insights into the prehistoric mind. These carvings feature a diverse menagerie of animals: foxes, lions, bulls, snakes, wild boars, and birds, each meticulously rendered, suggesting a deep reverence or symbolic significance attached to these creatures. The presence of such carvings indicates not only advanced artistic skills and aesthetic sensibilities, but also suggests these animals held particular meanings for the people who created them. They could represent clan totems, spiritual guides, or mythological stories central to the community's beliefs and rituals. Moreover, the humanoid figures, some of which appear to be depicted wearing animal skins, hint at early forms of shamanistic practices, or the veneration of deities or priests donned in ceremonial garb. These figures could represent intermediaries between the physical world and the spiritual realm, playing crucial roles in the rituals and ceremonies conducted at the site. The abstract symbols found alongside the more representational carvings add another layer of complexity to our understanding of Gobekli Tepe's spiritual significance. These symbols could be early attempts at encoding sacred knowledge, marking significant events, or conveying complex concepts related to cosmology, theology, or social order. The carvings on Gobekli Tepe's pillars, therefore, are not merely decorative, but are deeply imbued with meaning, serving as a tangible connection to the beliefs, rituals, and cosmologies of prehistoric peoples. They provide a window into a world where spirituality was expressed through the medium of stone, and where the natural and supernatural realms were closely intertwined. The story of Gobekli Tepe is like something out of a movie, an ancient site buried under tons of soil and debris around 8000 BCE, only to be rediscovered and shake up everything we thought we knew about the dawn of civilization. This wasn't just a case of a lost city getting swallowed up by the sands of time. It was an intentional act, a massive project that likely took as much effort and organization as the construction of the site itself. Why would a society go through such lengths to bury this place? The theories are as fascinating as they are varied, ranging from ritualistic closure to a strategic move for preservation against natural disasters or even invasions. But here's the kicker. Gobekli Tepe turns the Neolithic revolution's narrative on its head. The common story is that agriculture kick-started the rise of complex societies and monumental architecture.
The idea that we come across that another turn of the spade reveals information that causes us to reconsider not just was it hunter-gatherers or agriculturalists, but perhaps something bigger than this is involved.
Yet here we have an elaborate complex built by hunter-gatherers long before farming took hold. It suggests that the impulse to gather for religious or ceremonial reasons might have been a driving force behind settling down and forming communities. This discovery forces us to rethink not just the timeline of human history, but the very factors that drive societal development. Gobekli Tepe shows us that hunter-gatherer societies were capable of a level of organization, cooperation, and spiritual expression that we usually only attribute to settled farming communities. It hints at a world where shared beliefs and rituals were the glue that held societies together, potentially paving the way for the transition to a sedentary lifestyle.
Hidden beneath the sands of Abydos lies the Osirion, an ancient subterranean temple unlike anything else in Egypt. Carved from massive granite blocks and built with precision far beyond its supposed era, the structure seems almost out of place in history. But new research suggests the Osirion may not have been a tomb or temple at all, but part of a lost ancient machine, one whose purpose has remained a mystery for thousands of years.
The story begins more than a century ago. In 1902, British archaeologists Sir Flinders Petrie and Margaret Murray uncovered the Osirion buried deep beneath the sands behind the Temple of Seti I. They expected to find a typical New Kingdom structure, decorated, inscribed, orderly. Instead, what they discovered stunned them. The Osirion was built not from sandstone like the rest of Seti's temple, but from massive red granite blocks, each weighing up to 100 tons, fitted together in a Cyclopean style more reminiscent of the Great Pyramid, or even megalithic sites in South America. But what truly baffled them was its depth. The Osirion sits nearly 30 feet below ground level, aligned perfectly to ancient water channels. It's perpetually filled with groundwater, as though it was meant to be. Petrie noted that the lower parts were carved into the bedrock itself, suggesting that this structure might predate the temple above it by thousands of years. Here's where the mystery deepens. The Osirion shows almost no inscriptions, something unheard of for a temple built in the time of Seti I, around 3,200 years ago. The walls are smooth, bare, silent. Why would a pharaoh known for covering his temples in intricate hieroglyphs leave this one completely unmarked? Was it because Seti didn't build it at all, but merely discovered and repurposed it, as some researchers now suspect? Modern archaeologists have begun to revisit this enigma using new technology. Ground-penetrating radar and 3D scans have revealed unusual voids and patterns beneath the granite floor, strange channels and cavities that don't seem structural. Some researchers propose they once held moving water that could have been used to generate power or resonance. The idea sounds like science fiction, yet there's an undeniable pattern across Egypt. Many of its most ancient sites show evidence of acoustic and hydraulic engineering. At Dendera, the crypts beneath the Hathor temple contain images that some interpret as light bulbs, enormous glass shapes connected to coiled lines. At Abu Rawash, another granite structure sits atop an ancient aquifer, much like the Great Pyramid. And here, in the Osirion, constant groundwater flow echoes through its halls, creating deep, resonant vibrations. Recent acoustic testing by researchers from Cairo University found that certain frequencies produce standing waves between the granite pillars, as if the entire structure were tuned like a massive instrument. Could this have been the purpose of the Osirion? Not a tomb, but a resonant machine. Some alternative historians believe it may have been part of an ancient energy system, using sound and water to generate or transmit power. While mainstream Egyptology dismisses these ideas as pseudoscience, the physical evidence continues to puzzle even the most skeptical experts. In 2020, a joint survey by the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities and the University of Zurich found signs of erosion and wear on the granite blocks that predate Seti I's reign by millennia. The patterns were consistent with long-term submersion, suggesting that the Osirion might have been built during a time when Egypt's climate was radically different, perhaps even before the desert existed. This would place its construction closer to the end of the last ice age, over 10,000 years ago. If true, that would rewrite Egyptian history entirely. It would mean that the builders of the Osirion possessed engineering knowledge lost long before the rise of dynastic Egypt. The sheer precision of its joints, some fitted so tightly that a razor blade can't slip between them, supports the idea that whoever built it had access to tools and techniques that remain unknown today. But what could such an ancient machine have been used for? Some researchers point to the Osirion's association with Osiris, the god of rebirth, and suggest it may have been designed as a literal resurrection chamber. The layout, with its central platform surrounded by a moat of water, mirrors descriptions of the mythical tomb of Osiris in ancient texts. Others propose it served as a spiritual initiation site, a place where priests used sound, vibration, and water to alter states of consciousness. Yet the most tantalizing theory remains that the Osirion once harnessed natural earth energies: water, stone, and vibration, three elements that appear again and again in ancient architecture worldwide. From the temples of Malta to the megaliths of Peru, many ancient sites share these same mysterious characteristics. Could they have all been part of a forgotten global technology? One that blended science with spirituality, engineering with myth? As the sands of Abydos continue to shift, revealing new secrets, researchers are planning further investigations using LiDAR and microgravity mapping to detect hidden chambers below the Osirion. Early readings suggest that there may be another structure directly beneath it, possibly older still. The Osirion's mysterious design hints at a lost technology buried deep beneath Egypt's sands. But secrets like these aren't confined to one continent. Across the ocean, in the heart of the Grand Canyon, lies a sealed cave the government has kept hidden for decades. What was found inside may be more ancient and more extraordinary than anyone dares to admit.
The Grand Canyon is one of Earth's most breathtaking wonders. But hidden within its cliffs is a place you're never meant to see. A sealed cave, locked away for over a century, erased from maps and forbidden to explorers. Rumors whisper of ancient artifacts, strange writings, even evidence of a lost civilization. Yet, every attempt to uncover the truth has been buried under silence and secrecy. Why? What could possibly be so dangerous that it must remain hidden forever?
The legend begins in 1909 with a shocking article in the Arizona Gazette. It told of explorer G.E. Kincaid, who while drifting along the Colorado River spotted a strange opening high in the canyon wall. Climbing up, he entered a cavern, and what he claimed to see inside would stun the world. Gigantic statues resembling Egyptian gods, copper weapons of advanced design, hieroglyph-like markings carved into the walls, even chambers containing mummies laid to rest in solemn niches, an underground city buried in America's most iconic landscape. The Gazette declared that the Smithsonian Institution had rushed to investigate. The findings, they said, could change the very story of civilization. But then, silence. No artifacts were displayed, no reports published. The Smithsonian denied any involvement, and Kincaid himself vanished from history. One of the most spectacular discoveries ever reported, erased overnight. This vanishing act is what fuels the legend. Was Kincaid's story a sensational hoax, or a truth too dangerous to reveal? Skeptics call it fantasy, yet the persistence of the story raises unsettling questions. Because the Grand Canyon is no ordinary wilderness. It is a labyrinth of shadows, with over 1,000 caves hidden in its cliffs. Most still unexplored, many sealed off by officials. And when hikers dare to wander into restricted zones, they are turned back swiftly, sometimes without explanation. But why? Why guard empty rock? Indigenous traditions may hold part of the answer. The Hopi and Zuni speak of their ancestors emerging from underground worlds. Sacred stories describe migrations guided by divine beings from caverns deep within the earth. Across canyon walls, petroglyphs depict mysterious figures with elongated forms and headdresses scholars still debate. Were these merely spiritual symbols, or fragments of memory from something far more tangible? And now modern science adds new intrigue. Using LiDAR, researchers have scanned inaccessible sections of the canyon. To their surprise, the scans revealed vast cavities hidden within the cliffs. Some are so geometric they appear less like natural erosion and more like deliberate construction. Could these be the chambers hinted at in 1909? Or are they simply tricks of geology, waiting to deceive eager eyes? Still, the restrictions remain. One of the most notorious lies near the confluence of the Colorado and Little Colorado rivers, precisely where rumors place Kincaid's sealed cave. Here, large areas are strictly off limits. Rangers appear suddenly, often warning hikers away before they even reach the boundary. Some explorers insist they've seen entrances bricked over, camouflaged by stone and concrete. If nothing lies inside, why go to such lengths to hide it? For mainstream archaeology, the implications are explosive. If even fragments of Egyptian-style artifacts were found here, it would prove transoceanic contact thousands of years before Columbus. It would mean civilizations we thought isolated were in fact connected, trading ideas, technology, perhaps even people. But for others, secrecy points to another explanation. Perhaps the cave holds sacred native sites too vulnerable to expose. Burial grounds, ceremonial chambers, heritage deserving protection. Yet even that raises a troubling question. Why erase the record of the discovery so completely? Why deny the story outright, rather than acknowledge and safeguard it? The Grand Canyon itself remains mute, but it continues to reveal new wonders, as if teasing us with what it still conceals. In 2023, researchers found 313-million-year-old fossilized footprints on canyon rock, evidence of creatures that walked the earth long before the dinosaurs, hidden in plain sight for eons, unnoticed until now. If something that ancient could go undiscovered, why not an underground complex buried just beyond reach? Picture, for a moment, what might wait behind a sealed doorway. Rows of statues looming in the dark. A hall of mummies preserved in silence. Tools and artifacts that whisper of journeys across oceans, of civilizations lost to time. If the cave exists, it is not merely a discovery. It is a rewriting of the human story. And this is why the legend endures. Not because it is proven, but because the canyon itself feels capable of keeping such secrets. Its scale, its shadows, its silence, all conspire to remind us that we do not know everything. That perhaps the greatest chapter of human history is still sealed in stone. So the question lingers. Is the government protecting us from a myth or hiding a truth too dangerous to reveal? Until the cave is found or opened, the Grand Canyon keeps its secret. And somewhere within its vast walls, history may still be waiting to take us by surprise. The Grand Canyon's hidden cave may remain sealed from the public eye, but it isn't the only ancient enigma authorities struggle to explain. Thousands of miles away in Egypt, another puzzle looms. Massive granite boxes weighing over 100 tons, carved with impossible precision. Who built them? And could humans of the ancient world really have achieved such a feat?
In the boxes in places like the Serapeum, which is probably my favorite site, because there's literally miles of tunnels beneath Saqqara. So it's like a giant underground necropolis. Inside the Serapeum, you have 25 of these things, which are these single-piece, like 100-ton granite boxes. They're insane. It's absolutely insane. And this one in particular is in an off-limits area that we went into that's rarely seen by tourists. We couldn't make the box without developing specific tools to do it, because the way they'd make it is they'd cut like 5 slabs and then bolt them together, you know, like a floor and then 4 walls, and they'd bolt it together into a box. These are single pieces. So what's impressive about that is it's like you have to quarry this one block of stone and then dig it out. You have to dig all of the inside out, and some of the examples of precision in the Serapeum are absolutely remarkable. You have perfect 90-degree corners in some of the boxes, perfect 90-degree interfaces with the lids, and some of these walls maintain that geometry from like being 11 feet apart. Like, that's insane. Like, that's one of the major challenges of this is in designing and maintaining that type of relative geometry in a space where you can't afford to make any mistakes.
The Serapeum of Saqqara, nestled near Cairo, holds one of ancient Egypt's most puzzling enigmas. Enormous granite boxes, often considered to be sarcophagi. These immense boxes, carved from single blocks of granite with an astonishing level of precision, continue to baffle archaeologists, engineers, and historians. How did the ancient Egyptians craft these structures with such detail and accuracy, sparking ongoing debates about their origins? These boxes are far from ordinary stone coffins. Each is crafted from a single block of granite, known for its extreme hardness and difficulty to work with. Some of these boxes, complete with their lids, weigh as much as 70 tons, while the raw blocks they were carved from likely weighed over 200 tons. What's truly remarkable is the precision of the craftsmanship. The corners are perfectly squared, and the surfaces are so smooth they seem to rival modern machinery in accuracy. Achieving this level of exactness, especially millennia ago, raises the question: did the ancient Egyptians possess technology beyond what we've ever imagined? The interior of these boxes is equally awe-inspiring. While the smooth exteriors are impressive enough, the flawless precision on the inside seems even more impossible. How did they hollow out these massive granite blocks with such accuracy, given the tools thought to be available at the time? Copper tools, often credited to the Egyptians, would have been insufficient for the task, and the uniform thickness of the walls suggests the use of sophisticated measurement techniques far ahead of their time. Such uniformity in these boxes is unparalleled in other Egyptian artifacts, leading to more questions. Hollowing out these granite blocks would have required not just immense labor, but an advanced understanding of stone-cutting techniques that we still don't fully comprehend. Conventional explanations, primarily focusing on copper tools, fall short when compared to the remarkable precision of these boxes.
Before you stretches a scene of haunting desolation, not the shadow of the Great Pyramids, but a place equally steeped in ancient power, yet far less known. This is Tannis, the city of the sun, a name whispered in ancient texts, a place of sacred rituals and immense wealth. But look closer. Priceless statues bear the scars of unimaginable heat. Colossal pillars, once symbols of a mighty civilization, lie shattered as if crushed by the hand of a vengeful god. What happened here? Was this city known as Zoan in the Bible truly cursed? Did it fall victim to the shifting sands of the Nile or to the wrath of invaders? Or is the truth even more astonishing? Imagine a statue 100 feet tall, carved from solid granite, weighing more than 1,500 family cars. A feat that would challenge even modern engineers. Tannis holds secrets etched in scorched stone, secrets that speak of a fiery cataclysm. Was this the work of man, of nature, or of something more? Join us as we journey into the heart of an ancient enigma to uncover the lost story of Tannis, a city swallowed by time, waiting to reveal its truth.
A desolate landscape stretches before us, a mere 185 kilometers northeast of the iconic pyramids of Giza. Here lies Tannis, a city shrouded in mystery, once a place of immense power and sacred significance. The ancient Egyptians called it Granite, the city of the sun, a holy site dedicated to Amun-Ra, the god of the sun and creation. This is what met the eyes of the first explorers in 1878, a scene of utter devastation. The soil, barren and unforgiving, supports little life save for a few resilient thorny bushes. Priceless statues bear the scars of intense heat. Gigantic stone pillars lie smashed and broken, like forgotten toys of giants. Was this city cursed, struck down by the wrath of gods, or was it simply abandoned to the ravages of time? Let's rewind the clock. Tannis, known as Granite, Zoan in the Old Testament, and today as San el-Hagar, is a name whispered throughout history. Egyptologists generally agree it rose to prominence during the 21st dynasty, between 1069 and 945 BC, supplanting Thebes as Egypt's capital. But the narrative is far more complex. The discovery of massive Old Kingdom statues and artifacts within its ruins hints at a far more ancient origin, lost in the mists of time. Imagine a city dominated by an enormous temple complex dedicated to Amun-Ra, a royal palace. Bustling residential areas, all built with colossal granite pillars. These weren't just any stones. We're talking about 20 to 30-ton monoliths, painstakingly quarried, carved, and transported over 1,000 kilometers from Aswan in southern Egypt. Even with today's technology, this would be a monumental undertaking. Tannis was no vulnerable settlement. Fortifications, including massive walls and gates, were erected to defend against invaders. Picture walls, 70 feet thick, soaring 50 feet high, constructed from over 20 million mud bricks, each one potentially adorned with hieroglyphs and reliefs, a testament to the city's grandeur. Sadly, only fragments of these walls remain, eroded by millennia of wind and sand. Beyond its spiritual and political importance, Tannis has yielded some truly staggering megalithic artifacts. Our understanding of this city partially stems from Napoleon Bonaparte's 1798 expedition. He claimed 2 pink granite sphinxes, now housed in the Louvre, silent witnesses to Tannis's past. Countless other massive granite statues and artifacts have been unearthed, gracing museums worldwide, while others remain in Tannis, now an open-air museum. But perhaps the most mind-boggling discovery is a colossal foot, unearthed by the renowned Flinders Petrie in the late 1800s. Based on his meticulous scalings and comparisons to other colossi, Petrie estimated the original statue to have stood a staggering 100 feet tall. This is double the height of the colossi of Memnon. How did a civilization using seemingly primitive tools, copper chisels and wooden rollers, carve, transport, and erect a statue weighing an estimated 1,500 tons? It's a feat comparable to building the Statue of Liberty. The mind reels at the sheer scale of this undertaking. In 1939, French Egyptologist Pierre Montet made a discovery that should have rivaled Howard Carter's find in the Valley of the Kings. He uncovered the royal tomb complex at Tannis, containing 3 intact burial chambers. The treasures within were breathtaking: golden masks, bracelets, tableware, necklaces, and ornate sarcophagi, all crafted with exquisite artistry. Had it not been for the outbreak of World War II, these treasures would undoubtedly be as famous as Tutankhamun's. Even today, Montet's discoveries at Tannis are relatively unknown, overshadowed by the more publicized finds. The exact cause of Tannis's decline remains a puzzle. The conventional narrative, favored by many Egyptologists, points to a shift in political power, with cities like Sais and eventually Alexandria rising to prominence. The changing course of the Nile is another factor. As the river shifted, it likely caused flooding and erosion, rendering the area less habitable. However, let's delve deeper. If the city was simply abandoned, wouldn't the inhabitants have taken their valuables? Why leave behind hoards of treasure? The photographs from the initial rediscovery of Tannis reveal a scene of almost biblical destruction. And perhaps there's a reason for that. Remember, Tannis is the biblical zone. In Ezekiel 30:14, the prophet foretells its doom. "I will lay waste to Upper Egypt, set fire to Zoan, and inflict punishment on Thebes." Could this be a clue? Egypt's fertile lands and strategic location have made it a battleground for millennia. Alexander the Great, the Sasanian Persians, and the Crusaders all marched through this region, leaving their mark. Could fierce battles have contributed to Tannis's destruction? Earthquakes too have plagued Egypt throughout history. While they could explain some of the damage, they don't account for the scorch marks found on many artifacts. Look closely at this statue. The right side of its face shows clear signs of intense heat. Granite requires temperatures exceeding 1,200 degrees Celsius to exhibit such damage. Was this divine retribution, a lightning strike, a meteor airburst, or the result of a more earthly weapon? One intriguing possibility is Greek fire, a devastating incendiary weapon used by the Eastern Roman Empire from around 672 AD. This terrifying concoction, likely a mixture of naphtha and quicklime, could ignite upon contact with water and was projected from flame-throwing devices. Could Greek fire have been used to raise Tannis? While primarily a naval weapon, it's conceivable that Greek fire, or a similar incendiary technology, could have been adapted for land-based warfare. The destruction at Tannis, particularly the scorched stone that requires temperatures exceeding 1,200 degrees Celsius to achieve, aligns with the potential destructive power of such a weapon. While the spectre of Greek fire is certainly captivating, there's another, perhaps more grounded explanation for the intense fire damage at Tannis. We must remember that Tannis was a major religious and administrative center for centuries. It's conceivable that large-scale industrial or ritualistic activities involving intense, sustained heat took place within the city. It's important to note that this explanation doesn't necessarily contradict the others. A natural disaster, a battle, or even an attack using incendiary weapons could have triggered the initial blaze, which then escalated due to the presence of industrial or ritualistic activities, or simply because of the abundance of flammable materials within the city. This scenario, while perhaps less dramatic than divine wrath or ancient superweapons, is firmly rooted in the realities of daily life in an ancient city. It reminds us that even seemingly mundane activities, when combined with unfortunate circumstances, can have a profound and lasting impact on the historical record. The fire marks at Tannis, therefore, could be a testament not to a single catastrophic event, but to the complex interplay of human activity and the ever-present threat of fire in a world before modern fire prevention and suppression techniques. So, the sands of Tannis hold their secrets still. Was this once great city ravaged by the wrath of gods, as the ancient texts suggest? The story of Tannis is a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It lingers, buried beneath the sands, waiting to be rediscovered, reinterpreted, and perhaps to teach us lessons that resonate even in our own time. Get ready to trade your hiking boots for some sandals, because if you liked this adventure, then you are going to love our next one. We're about to dive into the mysteries of ancient Egypt with an incredible discovery: a lost temple dedicated to the Greek god Zeus, unearthed in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. This amazing find reveals a fascinating chapter of history where cultures clashed and blended. We'll journey back in time to uncover the secrets of the Ptolemaic dynasty, the Greek rulers who inherited Egypt after Alexander the Great, and explore how they fused their Greek heritage with ancient Egyptian traditions. Ever wondered how Zeus, king of the Greek gods, ended up with a temple in the land of the pharaohs? We'll unravel that mystery too, along with the secrets of Pelusium, a once mighty city that guarded the gateway to Egypt and vanished beneath the sands. Until now, from the sacred Mount Cassios to the Egyptian god set, we'll uncover the layers of history and mythology surrounding this incredible find. Get ready to be amazed by the lost temple of Zeus and the secrets it reveals about ancient Egypt's fascinating past.
When you picture ancient Egypt, what comes to mind? Majestic pyramids, powerful pharaohs, mummies shrouded in mystery, perhaps their pantheon of gods, Isis, Horus, Ra. But Zeus? Probably not the first deity that springs to mind. Yet a recent discovery in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula has unearthed a lost temple dedicated to the Greek god of the sky.
For people that haven't heard of the Labyrinth, it was one of the ancient wonders of the world. Like, this was described by Herodotus and Pliny the Elder and Strabo and all these historical figures that saw it. Herodotus described it as exceeding in splendor and wonder that of the pyramids. Like, this was the Labyrinth was this sort of 1,000-room structure that was supposedly just absolutely magnificent. You could have fit all of the temples of Karnak and Luxor and all of the temples of Egypt into its footprint. That was just lost to the sands of time. We've never known where it is or what it is. And it would be like a pyramid. It would rival the Great Pyramid, for sure, if we were to find it. But it turns out we found it.
Nestled near the Fayum oasis, the Hawara pyramid site may appear unremarkable today, but to ancient historians it was a place of awe and grandeur. Herodotus, often called the father of history, described it in terms that still leave modern scholars in awe. He recounted that compared to the labyrinth he encountered, even the grandest Greek temples and pyramids paled in both effort and expense. It was a structure of such enormous scale and complexity that it surpassed even the famous pyramids of Egypt. For centuries, however, many dismissed his account as fanciful or exaggerated, especially given Herodotus's reputation for embellishment. However, as time passed, more of his descriptions have been vindicated, particularly regarding his accounts of Lake Moeris near Hawara. He spoke of 2 pyramids rising nearly 93 meters above the surface of the water, each crowned with a seated stone statue. In the late 19th century, famed British archaeologist Flinders Petrie confirmed the presence of 2 seated colossi, each about 18 meters high and made of hard quartzite sandstone. This discovery was one of many that would lend credence to Herodotus's words. The site of the Hawara pyramid holds far more than just these statues. When researchers began to investigate the pyramid itself, they unearthed evidence of remarkable ancient engineering. Despite its present appearance, a crumbling pile of dark mud, the pyramid conceals a megalithic core built with astounding precision. Beneath its decayed exterior, the masonry is of exceptional quality, with blocks fitted so tightly that not even a blade could slip between them. This core represents 2 distinct types of ancient technologies. One, the megalithic stone core, and the other, a more fragile mud brick construction that has long since crumbled. Flinders Petrie, a pioneer in the study of ancient Egyptian architecture, was the first to delve into this mystery in detail. He noted that the stone casing of the pyramid had been removed during Roman times, leaving the interior exposed to the elements. Unlike other pyramids of the time, the entrance to this one was on the south side, not the north, and lay at ground level. It was designed with descending passages that had ramps on both sides, resembling a system for moving heavy cargo. This unique layout distinguished the Hawara pyramid from others in Egypt, leading Petrie to believe that its original purpose may have been different from typical pyramids. One of the most astonishing aspects of the structure is its system of trapdoors. Massive stone slabs weighing around 20 tons each, designed to seal off passageways. Petrie discovered 3 such trapdoors, all of which had been left open. His exploration of the pyramid led him to a central chamber carved from a single block of quartzite sandstone, forming a large tank-like structure in which a sarcophagus was placed. This colossal monolith, weighing over 110 tons, had been hewn with such precision, Petrie marveled at the technical skill required to carve and place such an enormous block of stone into a carefully excavated hollow. What truly puzzled Petrie, however, was the design of the tomb itself. There was no visible entrance, and the only way the pharaoh's body could have been placed inside would have been during the construction of the pyramid. Even more curiously, no inscriptions were found inside the chamber or on the sarcophagus, a rarity for a royal tomb. Instead, Petrie found only traces of charred bones, charcoal, and remnants of burnt diorite, suggesting that whatever had once been inside the sarcophagus had been deliberately destroyed by fire. The mystery deepened when Petrie examined a second sarcophagus in the chamber, one that appeared to have been added after the pyramid's construction. This later addition was smaller and lacked the technical precision of the original sarcophagus, raising questions about the purpose and timeline of the additions to the tomb. It was as though the pyramid had been used for multiple, distinct purposes over time, each contributing to its enigmatic history. While Petrie focused on the pyramid, he also uncovered evidence of a much larger structure nearby. The legendary Labyrinth of Egypt, which had long been mentioned in ancient texts. Herodotus had described it as a massive complex of 3,000 rooms, arranged in a maze-like formation, some above ground and others below. He was forbidden from entering the underground chambers, as they were said to house the tombs of kings and sacred crocodiles. Yet what Herodotus saw above ground left him awestruck, and later historians would echo his astonishment. Strabo, a Greek geographer who visited the site centuries later, described the labyrinth's monolithic ceilings and walls, each constructed from enormous slabs of stone. When Petrie began excavating the area in front of the Hawara pyramid, he uncovered evidence of this labyrinth beneath the remains of a later village. Beneath the village, he found layers of stone chips and fragments, the remains of what had once been an enormous stone structure. He concluded that this was indeed the foundation of the fabled labyrinth. His findings aligned with the ancient accounts. The structure was so large that, as he noted, it could have contained the temples of Karnak and Luxor within its boundaries. However, the labyrinth had long since been destroyed, its stones quarried and repurposed by later generations. All that remained were the foundations and fragments, a ghost of the massive structure that had once stood there. And yet, despite the extensive damage, Petrie's findings suggested that this labyrinth had been far more than just a building. It was a monumental work of engineering and architecture that had once awed the ancient world. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of Hawara, it becomes clear that this site still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. The labyrinth described by Herodotus, Strabo, and other classical writers may not be entirely lost. In fact, modern technology has revealed tantalizing clues that suggest much of it may still lie hidden beneath the sands, waiting to be rediscovered. In the 21st century, new technologies have allowed researchers to explore the Hawara site in ways that Petrie could only have dreamed of. Ground-penetrating radar and other advanced tools have given archaeologists the ability to peer beneath the surface without disturbing the ancient ruins. One such expedition in 2008, led by the Mataja project, a team of geophysicists, used radar technology to investigate the area beneath what Petrie had identified as the foundation of the labyrinth. What they discovered was nothing short of remarkable, a vast network of walls and chambers buried deep beneath the surface. Their findings suggested that what Petrie had thought was a foundation might actually have been the roof of the labyrinth, which could still exist underground. The radar scans revealed a grid of rooms and passageways at depths of 8 to 12 meters, confirming the existence of a colossal structure that matched the descriptions given by ancient historians. Despite the significance of these findings, the news was met with unexpected resistance. Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, led by Zahi Hawass, requested that the results be withheld from the public, citing concerns about national security. The Mataja team faced delays and obstacles, but after 2 years, they were finally able to publish their report. Their findings supported the ancient accounts of a labyrinth that was far larger than any temple known in Egypt, a structure that had remained hidden beneath the sands for millennia. The labyrinth's complexity and scale raised even more questions about its purpose. Why would such an enormous structure be built underground, and what was it used for? Some researchers speculated that it could have been a secret repository, a place where valuable artifacts or knowledge were stored. Others suggested that it might have served as a ceremonial or religious center, its labyrinthine corridors and chambers designed to disorient and awe those who entered. One of the most intriguing aspects of the labyrinth is its apparent age. The orientation of the structure, which is tilted by 20 to 25 degrees compared to the nearby Hawara pyramid, suggests that it may be much older than the pyramid itself. If this is true, it raises the possibility that the labyrinth predates the pharaohs and could be a relic of a much earlier civilization. Despite the advances in technology, many mysteries remain unsolved. The subterranean chambers have yet to be fully explored, and no one knows what lies within them. Could the labyrinth still contain treasures or texts from an ancient era? Could it hold clues to the origins of the Egyptians or even earlier cultures that inhabited the region? For now, these questions remain unanswered, as the labyrinth remains buried beneath layers of earth and time. If you found this video fascinating, prepare to be even more intrigued. Check out our next video, diving deep into the enigma of Zoyet Elaran, the pit in Egypt that seemingly exists outside of recorded history. We'll explore its mysterious origins, the baffling precision of its construction, and the theories surrounding its purpose. Get ready to journey into a truly perplexing piece of ancient Egyptian history.
You're looking at the limestone interior of the Abu Ruwash pyramid, and this is the core, and we can descend into the core in this unique structure, unlike the other pyramids.
Oh my god, what's this? Wow. Very deep pit. That looks to me like a boat pit.
No way, look at these lines, look at these striations.
Exactly.
Look at these striations.
And also the higher parts and the lower parts shows that it was not all cut at once.
Exactly.
It was like,
Especially here. This
here and here.
Exactly.
Yeah, here and there.
Exactly. See where the blade came back.
And we're talking about red granite from Aswan. How did they bring it up here? We are here in a mountainous region.
So this, if it were true, and it is true, would put the Sphinx back to a much earlier period, which would tie in with Schwaller's work and John Anthony West's subsequent work, that there were indications that dynastic Egypt as we know it, going back to about 3000 BC, was really a legacy of what I call now an earlier cycle of civilization.
Robert M. Schoch, a geologist with a PhD from Yale University, came up with a fascinating idea in the 1990s about the age of the Great Sphinx of Giza. He noticed something interesting about the erosion patterns on the Sphinx and the surrounding area. Unlike the typical wind and sand erosion you'd expect in Egypt's deserts, these patterns looked more like they were caused by water. This was a big deal because it suggested that the Sphinx might be much older than we thought. Now, Graham Hancock, a well-known British author who loves digging into ancient mysteries, found Schoch's theory really interesting and started supporting it.
Since the early 1990s, question marks have been raised over the age of the Great Sphinx of Giza in Egypt. Egyptologists think it's about 4,500 years old, although there's not a shred of inscription evidence to support this date. Independent researcher John Anthony West and Robert Schoch, professor of geology at Boston University, have made a case that the Sphinx must be much older than that.
Hancock is known for questioning the usual stories we hear about historical and archaeological sites. Schoch's theory caught his eye because it suggested that the Sphinx was around during a time when Egypt had a lot of rain, which was way back around 8,000 to 10,000 BCE. This idea of heavy rainfall leading to the erosion we see on the Sphinx today is really cool, but also quite controversial. You see, traditionally, archaeologists have dated the Sphinx to around 2500 BCE, during Pharaoh Khafre's time. They base this on where the Sphinx is located in the Giza pyramid complex and how it looks compared to other stuff from that period. But if Schoch is right and the Sphinx was actually built when it was much wetter in Egypt, then it could be thousands of years older than we thought, maybe even dating back to the Neolithic era. That's a pretty big shake-up in how we think about ancient Egyptian history.
To put it bluntly, the Sphinx did not originate with Khafre in the 4th dynasty, and really the beginning of my serious work and career looking at ancient civilizations.
Instead of the typical wear and tear you'd expect from wind and sand in a desert, the Sphinx had features like deep cracks, wavy lines on its limestone walls, and smooth, rounded edges. These are the kinds of things you usually see with water erosion, not wind or sand. Now, the Sphinx is made out of limestone, which is pretty easy for water to wear down. And what's interesting is that this limestone is made up of different layers, some harder than others. Schoch saw that the water erosion affected these layers in a way that you wouldn't really see if it was just wind and sand doing the damage. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Schoch looked at the climate history of the Sahara Desert and the Giza area and found out that way back between 10,000 and 5,000 BCE, this place wasn't the dry desert we know today. It was actually pretty wet, thanks to something called the Neolithic subpluvial phase.
We know there were ultra-hyper-arid Sahara conditions on the Giza Plateau for the last 5,000 or so years. And this ties in with the origins of civilization, according to the standard story, which is that civilization began between 4,000 3,000 BCE.
This was a time when there was a lot more rain. So Schoch thinks that this rainy period might have caused the kind of water erosion we see on the Sphinx, suggesting it's much older than we thought, maybe even dating back to these wetter times. This goes against the usual dating of the Sphinx to around 2500 BCE during Pharaoh Khafre's reign, based on its style and where it's located in the Giza pyramid complex. Schoch's idea definitely shakes things up in terms of how we think about the Sphinx's age. So Robert Schoch didn't just look at the Sphinx in isolation when he was thinking about this whole water erosion idea. He actually compared the wear and tear on the Sphinx with other ancient limestone sites that had been exposed to a lot of rain. This was his way of checking if what he saw on the Sphinx matched up with known patterns of water erosion elsewhere. It's like looking at different worn-out jeans to figure out if they got ripped from climbing trees or just from washing them a lot. He found sites with a clear historical background where they knew for sure that rain had done its thing over the years. When he looked at these places, he noticed that the erosion patterns were quite similar to what he was seeing on the Sphinx. This kind of bolstered his argument that the erosion on the Sphinx could really be from water, not just wind or sand.
You look at the evidence, and that's really where I was coming from. But my point is that even in the late 1980s, early 1990s, when I first got involved with this, if I looked at it critically, the evidence was not that definitive for the age of the Sphinx.
Schoch's approach was pretty comprehensive. He wasn't just a geologist looking at rocks. He was also considering the weather patterns from thousands of years ago and what archaeologists were saying about these ancient sites. It's like he was piecing together a big jigsaw puzzle from different fields of study. But of course, there are always different sides to a story. Some critics pointed out that the erosion could be due to other natural processes unique to the Giza area, like fluctuations in groundwater, or the way certain chemicals in the air might wear down the rock. And then there's the whole thing about what archaeologists have found around the Sphinx, like artifacts and writings that suggest it was built around 2500 BCE, during Pharaoh Khafre's time. This kind of goes against Schoch's idea that the Sphinx is way older because of the water erosion. So it's a bit of a puzzle with some pieces still missing. Graham Hancock has this really intriguing idea about an ancient civilization that he thinks existed way before the ones we usually learn about in history books, like the Egyptians, Sumerians, and the Indus Valley folks. He reckons this civilization was around many millennia earlier, and that it might have been wiped out by a huge comet impact around 10,000 BCE. Imagine that a whole advanced society just gone in the blink of an eye, leaving only bits and pieces behind. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Hancock thinks this civilization wasn't just hanging out in one spot, it was all over the place, having a global influence. He suggests that after whatever disaster hit them, the survivors might have traveled far and wide, sharing their knowledge and helping kickstart other ancient cultures. Hancock dives into myths and oral traditions from all over the world too. He's not just dismissing these stories as old wives' tales, but considering them as potential historical records. For example, he's really interested in the flood myths that pop up in different cultures. He thinks these might be a collective memory of a real event that had a huge impact on this lost civilization.
The best explanation is that floods of icy meltwater released by the heat and kinetic energy of the impacts flowed off the North American ice cap and into the Atlantic Ocean, where they interrupted the Gulf Stream, a key element of the central heating system of our planet, hence the sudden and dramatic cooling.
Now, Hancock is big on astronomy. He points to how some ancient structures, like the Giza pyramids and the Sphinx, line up with certain stars and constellations. He thinks this isn't just a coincidence, but a sign of advanced astronomical knowledge. He's also into the idea that these ancient folks understood the precession of the equinoxes. That's a fancy term for a slow shift in Earth's rotation over a 26,000-year cycle. If he's right, it means they were way ahead of their time in understanding the cosmos. Graham Hancock has this captivating theory about ancient civilizations and their architectural wonders. He's really into how these old structures, like the pyramids in Egypt, Stonehenge, and those incredible megalithic sites in South America, show off some serious engineering and architectural skills. Hancock reckons that to build these things with such precision and detail, those ancient folks must have had some advanced knowledge and technology that we don't usually give them credit for. Take, for instance, the way the stones are cut at Pumapunku in Bolivia. Hancock points out that the cuts are so precise, it's as if they had access to some really advanced tools. And when it comes to building massive structures, he's all about the techniques they must have used. He's amazed at how accurately these huge stones were fitted together, often without any mortar, and wonders how on earth they moved and positioned stones that weigh several tons. This isn't just your everyday heavy lifting. We're talking about some serious know-how in engineering and possibly some clever uses of leverage and pulley systems. Now he doesn't stop there. He's also fascinated by the mathematical and geometrical knowledge that these structures reveal. He talks about the use of the golden ratio, pi, and precise angular measurements, which shows a sophisticated understanding of math and geometry. Like, take the Great Pyramid of Khufu. Its alignment, the way its base is perfectly level, and the precise angles of its sides. Hancock sees this as evidence of a much more advanced understanding of geometry and engineering than we might think. Then there are the monumental buildings in Mesoamerica, such as the Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan and the Mayan pyramids. Hancock highlights their architectural sophistication, urban planning, and the use of large stone blocks. All of this, to him, points to a level of technological proficiency and knowledge that goes way beyond what we've traditionally thought was possible for these ancient cultures. In a nutshell, Hancock is looking at these ancient structures and saying, hey, there's more to the story here. He's suggesting that these civilizations had a depth of knowledge and skill in construction, engineering, and mathematics that challenges our conventional understanding of ancient history.
It wasn't something the Maya made up. The Olmecs used that same symbolism. So the Mayan calendar is actually an Olmec calendar. And if we then consider the possibility that the Olmecs may just be the latest, the earliest surviving manifestation of that calendar, it could go back.
Then there's Teotihuacan in Mexico. Hancock looks at the layout of this ancient city and sees a kind of mirror image of our solar system's planetary orbits. To him, this suggests that the people who built Teotihuacan had a pretty detailed knowledge of astronomy and space. Stonehenge in England is another example. Hancock thinks it was used as an astronomical observatory because of how it aligns with the solstices. He sees this as further evidence that ancient people understood celestial movements really well. And let's not forget about the Pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza. During the equinoxes, this pyramid casts a shadow that looks like a serpent. Hancock sees this as a sophisticated way of tracking the sun's path, again showing an advanced understanding of astronomy. Hancock also dives into the idea of precession, which is this slow wobble in Earth's rotation that takes about 26,000 years to go full circle. He looks at how the Giza pyramids align with Orion's belt, and how the Sphinx lines up with the Leo constellation during what's known as the Age of Leo, around 10,500 BCE. He thinks these alignments aren't random but deliberate, showing that the people back then understood this complex astronomical phenomenon. So, in a nutshell, Hancock is really into the idea that ancient structures around the world weren't just built for the heck of it. He believes they were deliberately aligned with stars, constellations, and celestial events, showing that ancient civilizations had a much deeper understanding of astronomy than we usually give them credit for.
You know, the Sphinx gets described as a gateway. Like, there is a lot of legitimate reasons to think that there's something below that structure. They had gone in under the Sphinx and looked at chambers, and they found chambers beneath the Sphinx. Like, they 100% found chambers beneath the Sphinx. In the Sphinx temple, when you go in there, there is indeed evidence for shafts that go down. I think if there are chambers down there, and if there's anything in them, or there was, it's long gone.
Did you know about the mysterious Osiris shaft hidden within the Giza Plateau? This fascinating archaeological site, often overshadowed by the grandeur of the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, harbors secrets of ancient Egyptian civilization. Though known since the late 19th century, it remained largely ignored as explorers focused on more prominent monuments. But the Osiris shaft has its own story, one that has gradually unfolded over time. It wasn't until the 1990s that the Osiris shaft began to receive the attention it deserved, thanks to the efforts of Zahi Hawass, a name familiar to many.
He's documented the fact that Zahi's been enabling kind of secret expeditions digging and drilling around the Sphinx since the 1970s.
Under his direction, a thorough exploration was undertaken, revealing the shaft's complex architecture and its connection to ancient Egyptian religious thought. However, accessing the deepest parts of the Osiris shaft wasn't easy. The team had to overcome the significant challenge of draining the water that had flooded its lower levels, particularly the third level, which was partially submerged.
The same story of a great flood, which brought a former age of the world to an end.
The effort required to bring in modern equipment and remove the water was immense, but it was crucial to unveiling the shaft's hidden secrets. The Osiris shaft, with its 3 levels descending deep into the earth, turned out to be a remarkable puzzle of architecture, burial customs, and hidden treasures. The design itself is a marvel of ancient engineering, with each level serving a unique purpose. At the bottom, a large stone sarcophagus rests in a chamber partially filled with water, evoking the ancient Egyptian underworld. It's as if the Egyptians constructed their version of the afterlife deep within the Giza plateau. The second level, with its 6 empty burial shafts, adds to the mystery. Were they looted, or were they never intended to hold anything? This level offers insights into burial practices and rituals, though some aspects remain unclear. Despite the absence of inscriptions that could pinpoint who built the shaft and when, the artifacts discovered within, pottery shards, fragments of stone vessels, and other small items, suggest the Osiris shaft dates back to the New Kingdom period. These artifacts provide valuable clues, helping researchers piece together the history of this incredible structure. One of the most poignant discoveries was the mummified remains found in the smaller chambers surrounding the central sarcophagus. These remains offer a rare glimpse into the lives of ancient Egyptians, revealing details about their diets, lifestyles, and perhaps even their deaths. Let's take a moment to talk about Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of the afterlife, death, and rebirth. According to mythology, Osiris was betrayed by his brother Set, leading to a story of death, dismemberment, and resurrection that reads like an ancient epic. His wife, Isis, reassembled him and brought him back to life, making Osiris a symbol of the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The Osiris shaft is thought to be a 3-dimensional tribute to this epic tale.
But over here we have the god Osiris from Egypt, remembered by the ancient Egyptians as a bringer of the gifts of civilization.
At the shaft's deepest point, there's a chamber filled with water, believed to represent the underworld. Standing before the large stone sarcophagus, which symbolizes Osiris's tomb, one can almost feel the connection to his journey through death and his role as ruler of the afterlife. But why was such a place built? One theory is that the Osiris shaft served as a site for initiation rites, a kind of spiritual boot camp where participants underwent trials symbolizing death and rebirth, mirroring Osiris's experiences. These rites were believed to impart secret knowledge and bring about a spiritual transformation in the initiates. Some even speculate that the shaft's design was influenced by the stars, aligning with celestial bodies associated with Osiris and the afterlife. The shaft may have been a bridge between Earth and the heavens, representing the soul's journey after death. What's truly fascinating is how the structure of the Osiris shaft and the artifacts found within echo ancient texts like the Pyramid texts and the Book of the Dead. These texts offer a window into the Egyptian view of the afterlife, complete with references to water, boats, and the importance of sarcophagi. The shaft can be seen as a stone-bound version of these ancient scrolls, a tangible connection to the beliefs and rituals of a long-lost civilization. Buried deep within the limestone bedrock, the Osiris shaft is a 3-level labyrinth that masterfully combines practicality with a touch of the mystical. Let's explore what makes the architecture of the Osiris shaft so intriguing. The design and construction of the shaft are nothing short of remarkable, showcasing the advanced planning and building techniques of the ancient Egyptians. The precision with which they carved out these chambers from the bedrock reflects their deep understanding of the earth beneath them. The entrance to the shaft is marked by a rectangular opening that leads to a vertical drop of about 10 meters. This isn't just a hole in the ground, it's a carefully crafted vertical shaft, requiring the removal of large amounts of limestone using tools made from harder stones and metals, ropes, and wooden scaffolding. This feat of engineering is a testament to the skills of the ancient builders. The first chamber encountered is modest, devoid of decorations or treasures. Its simplicity might have been intentional, serving as a waiting room or a space for preparing for something more profound, deeper within, possibly purification rites. The real intrigue begins at the second level, where another shaft descends another 20 meters. This chamber is more complex, containing 6 empty burial shafts that have sparked much speculation. Were they looted, or were they always meant to be symbolic? These shafts could have been used for actual burials, or perhaps represented the journey to the afterlife. The third level is the most dramatic. Descending yet another shaft, now 30 meters below the surface, you find a large stone sarcophagus at the chamber's center. This chamber, partially filled with water from the natural aquifer, isn't just a burial place. It symbolizes Osiris's tomb, tying into themes of rebirth and purification in Egyptian mythology. Graham Hancock is a name that often sparks lively discussions about ancient civilizations. Known for his books like Fingerprints of the Gods and Magicians of the Gods, Hancock's theories often challenge mainstream archaeological narratives. Let's consider how Hancock's unconventional ideas might offer new insights into the mysterious Osiris shaft.
I think there's a lot more remains to be discovered under the Giza Plateau.
Yeah. Hancock's theories often revolve around the idea of a lost advanced civilization, one that predates known history and possessed advanced knowledge of astronomy, architecture, and mathematics.
I believe that it's worth considering the possibility of a remote common ancestor, which passed down key information that was inherited by later cultures.
Hancock might suggest that the Osiris shaft, with its intricate design and possible astronomical alignments, serves as a time capsule from this sophisticated society. Could this ancient marvel be older than we think, or was it built with knowledge handed down from this enigmatic civilization? Hancock is also fascinated by how ancient structures align with the stars. While he hasn't specifically identified the Osiris shaft in his star maps, it's easy to imagine it fitting into his broader theories. Could the shaft's orientation indicate a connection to celestial events or constellations associated with Osiris and themes of death and rebirth?
That is who Osiris is. His image is seen in the sky as the constellation of Orion.
Hancock's work suggests that many of Egypt's ancient monuments are part of a larger cosmic blueprint, with the Osiris shaft possibly being another piece of that puzzle. One of the more dramatic aspects of Hancock's theories involves global cataclysms, particularly those caused by comet impacts during the Younger Dryas period, around 12,800 to 11,600 years ago. He proposes that these catastrophic events might have wiped out the advanced civilization he theorizes about. When we look at the water in the lower levels of the Osiris shaft, Hancock might see it as more than just groundwater seepage. He could interpret it as a symbol of the world-altering floods his hypothesized civilization endured. Do you believe in the possibility of multiple ancient cataclysms?
What if one of humanity's greatest monuments wasn't what we thought it was? For over 4,500 years, it has stood as a silent sentinel in the Sahara. A monument of such staggering scale and precision, it defies explanation. 2 million stones, some weighing as much as 15 tons, fit together with astonishing accuracy. But what was its true purpose? Hidden chambers, secret doors, and a mysterious void deep within its core. Did the ancients harness the Earth's energy in ways we are only beginning to understand? Join us as we unlock the secrets of the Great Pyramid and challenge everything you thought you knew about the past.
At the dawn of history, 2,500 years before Christ, an entire civilization gathered to build the greatest monuments on Earth. 13 million tons of solid rock, enough to build the city of London, were hauled across the deserts. Why? What vision drove this?
What if one of humanity's greatest monuments wasn't what we thought it was? As dawn breaks over the Sahara, the first rays of sunlight strike the limestone blocks of the Great Pyramid of Giza, igniting a golden glow that has captivated observers for over 4,500 years. We embark on a journey to delve into the mysteries concealed within this ancient wonder. Constructed around 2560 BCE, the Great Pyramid stands as a monumental testament to the ingenuity and ambition of the ancient Egyptians. Traditionally believed to be the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu, its sheer scale is astounding. Over 2 million stone blocks, some weighing as much as 15 tons, assembled with such precision that even a credit card cannot slip between them. To put its size into perspective, the pyramid covers an area large enough to house 5 soccer fields. Entering the pyramid, we navigate the descending passage, a narrow corridor stretching over 100 meters, comparable to the length of a football field. This passage is less than 1.5 meters high, compelling visitors to stoop as they proceed into the depths of the structure. It leads to the subterranean chamber, an unfinished room beneath the pyramid's base, roughly the size of a large 2-car garage, but with a ceiling so low it feels like the earth is pressing down upon you. The rough, unadorned walls suggest either an abandoned project or a deliberate enigma left by the builders. Ascending back, we find the ascending passage, steep and confined, like climbing the aisle of a sharply tilted airplane. This corridor guides us toward the Grand Gallery, a breathtaking passageway as tall as a 7-story building and half a football field long. Walking through it feels akin to standing inside a colossal stone cathedral, the walls angling inward as if to draw your gaze upward toward the heavens. From the Grand Gallery, a horizontal passage takes us to the Queen's Chamber. This room, similar in size to a spacious master bedroom with a vaulted ceiling, holds more questions than answers. In 1993, a robotic explorer named Upuaut Saku ventured into the chamber's so-called air shafts, narrow tunnels no wider than a grapefruit. The robot discovered a limestone door with copper handles, known as Gantenbrink's door. Behind it lay another door, and beyond that, uncertainty. These blocked shafts remain a source of intrigue, with some suggesting they may conceal hidden chambers or hold symbolic significance related to ancient Egyptian beliefs. Above us looms the king's chamber, constructed entirely of granite rich in quartz crystals. The chamber is as imposing as a small banquet hall, yet eerily empty. An unadorned granite sarcophagus sits silently, devoid of inscriptions or any signs of a royal occupant. No mummy or treasure was ever found here, a fact that continues to puzzle historians and fuels speculation about the pyramid's true purpose. In 2017, using advanced muon tomography technology, scientists uncovered the Big Void, a hidden cavity the size of a passenger plane's fuselage nestled above the Grand Gallery. Its exact purpose remains unknown, and accessing it could risk damaging the pyramids. First-hand accounts deepen the mystery. In the early 19th century, explorer Giovanni Battista Caviglia braved the pyramid's inner passages. He described the experience as walking into the heart of an immense mystery, each stone whispering secrets of a forgotten time. His explorations, though perilous, contributed valuable insights, but also highlighted how much remains undiscovered. So, why is the Great Pyramid considered a tomb when no pharaoh's body was ever found within? Traditional archaeology points to its alignment with mortuary temples and texts that associate pyramids with the afterlife journey of the pharaohs. The pyramid complex includes elements typical of royal tombs, and other pyramids have indeed been found with burial chambers containing sarcophagi and funerary goods. Yet, some theorists propose alternative explanations. They suggest that the pyramid may have served as an astronomical observatory, a place of spiritual initiation, or even an ancient power plant. The latter theory draws fascinating parallels with the work of inventor Nikola Tesla, who was captivated by the pyramidal shape and its potential to harness and transmit energy. Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower was designed for wireless energy transmission, utilizing the Earth's natural frequencies, a concept that mirrors theories about the pyramid's function. The use of granite in the king's chamber, with its piezoelectric properties due to quartz crystals, leads some to speculate that the pyramid could generate energy through the Earth's vibrations or the flow of underground water. A natural aquifer lies beneath the pyramid. While there's no concrete evidence linking Tesla's theories directly to the Great Pyramid, the similarities are intriguing. Our journey ends where it began, at the pyramid's base, but the questions linger. What if the true purpose of the Great Pyramid was to bridge the earthly and the divine, not just in a spiritual sense, but through harnessing the very forces of nature? As the shadows lengthen over the sands, we realize that the pyramid doesn't just hold history, it challenges our understanding of it. In the words of renowned explorer Indiana Jones, archaeology is the search for fact, not truth. If it's truth you're interested in, Dr. Tyree's philosophy class is right down the hall. If you found this video captivating, don't miss our next adventure. Egyptologists discovered a labyrinth underground ancient humans could never build. Prepare to be awestruck by an ancient labyrinth hidden beneath Egypt's sands, predating even the mighty pyramids. This discovery could rewrite history as we know it. Join us as we delve into this subterranean marvel, navigating its intricate passages and unveiling hidden chambers. Explore the secrets of its construction, decipher its purpose, and uncover its connection to the enigmatic Hawara pyramid. Experts believe this labyrinth holds clues to ancient rituals and showcases the advanced engineering prowess of a pre-pharaonic civilization. Could this be the fabled Labyrinth of Egypt? Get ready to be amazed as we unravel this ancient enigma and its profound implications for understanding the rich tapestry of Egyptian history. Click now to embark on this extraordinary journey.
For people that haven't heard of the Labyrinth, it was one of the ancient wonders of the world. Like, this was described by Herodotus and Pliny the Elder and Strabo and all these historical figures that saw it. Herodotus described it as exceeding in splendor and wonder that of the pyramids. Like, this was the Labyrinth was this sort of 1,000-room structure that was supposedly just absolutely magnificent. You could have fit all of the temples of Karnak and Luxor and all of the temples of Egypt into its footprint. That was just lost to the sands of time. We've never known where it is or what it is. And it would be like a pyramid. It would rival the Great Pyramid, for sure, if we were to find it. But it turns out we found it.
There's huge areas of the world that have never been looked at by archaeology at all. Or if looked at by archaeology, looked at only minimally. It's really important to understand that archaeology is often driven by accidental finds.
In the shadowed depths beneath the temple of the ancient city of Osiris Magna, located along the Egyptian coastline, a monumental discovery was made by Kathleen Martinez of the University of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, and her team.
Let's call in the archaeologists to make sure that we're not going to wreck any ancient archaeology while we're doing this. And that's a lot of archaeological discoveries are made as a result of that.
During their meticulous excavations, they unearthed an extensive tunnel plunging 13 meters underground, expertly carved through 1,305 meters of sandstone. This architectural feat, standing 2 meters tall, has been hailed as a geometric miracle by the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities for its engineering precision and scale.
It's interesting that the patterns are geometrical. Someone made it, and it involved a very large amount of organized labor in order to make it. There had to be the will and the intent in order to do that.
The Eupalinos Tunnel, extending over 10 to 36 meters, was an unparalleled achievement in ancient engineering, mirroring the complexity and ambition of the Osiris Magna Tunnel, though the latter's function remains a mystery. Despite being partially submerged in water, the tunnel's purpose, beyond its architectural resemblance to historical works, is still under investigation. The driving force behind Martinez's dedication to Osiris Magna since 2004 has been the quest to locate the final resting place of Cleopatra VII, the last queen of the Ptolemaic dynasty.
Are we looking at the traces of a forgotten episode in human history? I think so.
I think that's what's going on here.
The excavations at Osiris Magna have not been in vain, revealing artifacts and signs hinting at the presence of Cleopatra and her ancestors. Founded around 280 BCE by Ptolemy II, a direct descendant of one of Alexander the Great's generals, Osiris Magna is steeped in the legacy of its founders. The temple, believed to be dedicated to Osiris and his consort Isis, also aligns with Cleopatra's efforts to embody Isis, strengthening her divine legitimacy.
This is a very neglected area of the world as far as deep and ancient archaeology goes.
Discoveries within the temple complex have included coins adorned with the likenesses of Cleopatra and Alexander the Great, alongside figurines of Isis, suggesting a vibrant cultic activity centered around these figures. Additionally, Greco-Roman burial shafts unearthed within the site hint at the potential for finding tombs similar to those Cleopatra and her consort Mark Antony might be interred in, raising the possibility of uncovering their final resting places. Looking forward, the exploration is set to extend into the Mediterranean Sea, following the trail of a series of devastating earthquakes between 320 and 1303 CE that led to the partial submersion of the temple complex. Prior excavations have also indicated a network of tunnels connecting Lake Mariotte to the Mediterranean, suggesting a broader scope of investigation in the quest to unravel the mysteries of Osiris Magna. The tunnel discovery, yielding artifacts such as pottery and a limestone block, adds to the anticipation of what lies ahead. As articulated by Zahi Hawass, the former Minister for Antiquities, the discovery of Cleopatra and Mark Antony's tomb would be a landmark event of the 21st century. Nonetheless, the significance of the findings at Osiris Magna transcends the search for royal tombs, shedding light on the rich and complex history of this ancient city. The ongoing excavations promise not only the potential revelation of royal tombs, but also a deeper understanding of the cultural and historical landscape of ancient Egypt. Moving on, the mystery of the Osiris shaft, a hidden gem beneath the sands of the Giza Plateau.
But he found evidence of deliberate burial in a very complicated, difficult cave system, which you can hardly access.
Is this shaft connected with ancient Queen Cleopatra? This ancient marvel is a deep dive into Egyptian engineering brilliance and a profound testament to their religious beliefs. Carved straight into the bedrock and plunging about 30 meters, which is nearly 100 feet underground. It's a 3-level journey into the past, where architecture meets the afterlife. Right at the doorstep of the Pyramid of Khafre, the entrance to this subterranean complex is anything but ordinary. It's like stepping into a different realm, starting with a modest antechamber that serves as your welcome or warning of the mysteries that lie ahead. This first stop is simple yet precise, a showcase of the ancient Egyptians' mastery over stone, but the adventure only deepens from there. A narrow passage takes you to the second level, a larger space carved with burial niches. Imagine this as a VIP section for the afterlife, likely reserved for those with a direct line to the gods or high standing in society. It's a clear sign that you're moving closer to something sacred. Then comes the final plunge to the heart of the Osiris shaft. Here, in the deepest chamber, you're greeted by a scene straight out of mythology. At the center, a massive granite sarcophagus sits partially submerged in water, which seeps in naturally from the limestone. This isn't just an engineering feat, it's a direct nod to Osiris, the god of the afterlife, whose story is intertwined with the Nile itself. The water here isn't just a natural occurrence, it's a symbol of life, death, and rebirth, mirroring the Nile's life-giving floods and Osiris's own resurrection story. The genius of the Osiris shaft isn't just in its construction, though carving such a complex directly into the bedrock, managing groundwater, and ensuring stability is nothing short of astounding. It's also in how it weaves together functionality and deep religious symbolism. This place wasn't just meant for burying the dead, it was a canvas on which the ancient Egyptians painted their beliefs in the afterlife, a physical journey through the underworld that mirrored the soul's passage to eternity. In the end, the Osiris shaft stands as a profound expression of ancient Egyptian architectural and religious thought, a place where the physical and the spiritual meet, carved deep into the earth. The Osiris shaft presents a fascinating narrative of ancient Egyptian beliefs, ingeniously encapsulated in a subterranean complex. This enigmatic site, stretching deep beneath the sands, offers a rare window into the Egyptians' sophisticated burial practices and their reverence for Osiris, the deity of the afterlife and rebirth. The discovery of varied sarcophagi within its depths speaks volumes about the social tapestry and the evolving customs over millennia from the Old Kingdom through to the Ptolemaic period. It's intriguing to see how granite and basalt sarcophagi, earmarked for the elite, coexist with simpler wooden ones, suggesting a resting place for a wide spectrum of society. The assortment of burial goods unearthed here, from pottery intended for afterlife sustenance to ushabti figures meant to serve the deceased beyond death, underscores a firm belief in an existence after life. These artifacts weren't just symbolic, they were envisioned to spring to life in the afterlife, attending to the deceased. The presence of jewelry, amulets, and various ritual objects further accentuates the shaft's spiritual significance, painting a vivid picture of the personal beliefs and the societal stature of those entombed within its chambers. Less common than in grandiose tombs but equally telling are the inscriptions found within the Osiris shaft. These hieroglyphic texts, drawn from the Book of the Dead, offer prayers and spells to aid the deceased's passage through the underworld, revealing the religious literature that permeated burial rites at the time. The shaft's design and function serve as a profound testament to the myth of Osiris, creating a physical manifestation of the underworld and mirroring the god's mythical entombment in the Nile's waters. This architectural homage to Osiris not only marked the site as a burial ground, but also as a sacred space for pilgrimage and worship, drawing followers to engage in rituals and offerings. The use of water in the deepest chamber, symbolizing purification and rebirth, reflects the Nile's life-giving floods controlled by Osiris, reinforcing the deity's association with agriculture and resurrection. Some theories even suggest that the Osiris shaft's alignment might connect the deceased with celestial bodies, embedding them within the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth, a concept that highlights the Egyptians' advanced understanding of cosmology. Exploring the Osiris shaft thus unfolds a rich tapestry of ancient Egyptian life, belief, and architectural prowess. It's a narrative that transcends the mere act of burial, revealing a culture deeply immersed in the mysteries of the afterlife, the divine, and the cosmos. The Osiris shaft stands not just as a monument, but as a bridge between the earthly and the divine, offering invaluable insights into the spiritual and everyday lives of the ancient Egyptians.
Here we are at the Osirion, possibly one of the most impressive sites in Egypt, possibly the world. This is officially dated to the time of Seti I, which would have been completely roofed over, thousands of tons of stone in this whole construction, and it really is something to behold.
Hidden deep in the desert sands of Abydos, approximately 350 miles south of the Great Pyramid of Giza, stands the Osirion, a monumental structure shrouded in mystery. Its origins, purpose, and design have baffled archaeologists and researchers for decades. Unlike the well-known temples of ancient Egypt, the Osirion defies traditional pharaonic architectural norms, leading some to believe it could be the product of a much older, technologically advanced civilization. Could this ancient structure hold the key to a forgotten chapter of human history? The first puzzle presented by the Osirion lies in its striking architectural divergence from typical Egyptian temples. While most temples of the pharaonic era adhere to a linear rectangular layout, the Osirion's design breaks the mold with its unique L-shaped configuration. This anomaly alone raises critical questions about the intentions behind its construction. Was it built for a different purpose than Egypt's standard religious edifices? Or does it reflect the architectural style of an unknown, perhaps much older culture? Adding to the mystery is the Osirion's relationship with the nearby temple of Seti Prayus, built during the 19th dynasty. Archaeological evidence suggests that the Osirion predates the temple of Seti Ras by centuries, if not millennia, implying that the site held significant importance long before the reign of Seti. This ancient structure was already in place when Seti chose to build his temple beside it, as though honoring an ancient relic from a bygone era. What made the Osirion so significant, and why did it attract the attention of the Egyptian kings? The sheer scale of the Osirion is awe-inspiring. The core of the structure is composed of massive rose granite blocks, some of which weigh an astonishing 100 tons. These immense stones were quarried from Aswan, located over 200 miles to the south, a logistical challenge that seems insurmountable given the tools and technology traditionally attributed to the Egyptians of the time. Moving these massive blocks across hundreds of miles of desert, and then precisely positioning them in a desert location far from the Nile, is a feat that defies explanation. Without evidence of advanced machinery, how were these massive stones transported and assembled with such precision? The Osirion's architecture, featuring a sophisticated double-layered roofing system and interlocking wedges, suggests a level of engineering knowledge far beyond what ancient Egypt is known to have possessed. The use of granite, a hard and unforgiving material, only adds to the mystery. Working with granite requires advanced tools and knowledge, skills that, according to historical records, the Egyptians had not yet developed during the early dynastic periods. Another striking feature of the Osirion is its complete lack of Egyptian hieroglyphs or artwork. In contrast to nearly every other Egyptian temple or monument, which are richly decorated with carvings, inscriptions, and illustrations, the Osirion is eerily bare. Throughout Egypt's history, temples were frequently renovated, with each generation adding new inscriptions and artwork. Even more unusual is the Osirion's subterranean layout, which is highly uncharacteristic of Egyptian temple architecture. The entire structure lies 15 feet below ground level, leading some researchers to propose that the temple could be far older than its surrounding counterparts. The idea that it predates the buildup of sand and soil that has accumulated over millennia suggests a timeline stretching back to an era before the sands of Egypt's desert even existed in their current form. Water erosion patterns found on the limestone enclosure surrounding the Osirion add yet another layer to the mystery. Some researchers argue that these erosion marks could only have been caused by a much wetter climate, possibly dating the structure back to the end of the last ice age, when the region experienced more rainfall. If true, this would place the Osirion's construction over 10,000 years ago, far earlier than the dynastic Egyptian civilization. Perhaps the most intriguing feature of the Osirion is the presence of water within the structure itself. Modern seismic technology has revealed that the visible portion of the Osirion is only the uppermost part of a much larger complex, which extends at least 50 feet below the current floor level. Beneath the surface, seismic tests have indicated the presence of hollow chambers, which have yet to be explored due to the water that continually fills the site. Despite multiple attempts, archaeologists have been unable to drain the water, which seems to replenish at an alarming rate. The source of this water remains unknown, and its continuous flow presents a baffling enigma. Some researchers suggest that the Osirion's complex hydraulic system, which includes channels, basins, and possibly sluices, was designed to control and manipulate water flow within the structure. The precision of these features points to an advanced understanding of hydraulic engineering, something not typically associated with ancient Egyptian technology. While the Egyptians were known for their use of irrigation canals and basins for agriculture, the Osirion's water management techniques are far more sophisticated. The mysteries of the Osirion continue to deepen as researchers attempt to unlock its secrets. The constant replenishment of water within the structure defies explanation. James Westerman, a renowned archaeologist and historian, has spent decades studying the Osirion. His efforts to pump out the water from the structure have been met with frustration. Even with a pump capable of removing 500 gallons of water per minute, the water level continues to rise, seemingly replenishing itself faster than it can be removed. Westerman's words capture the perplexity of the situation. Water is emerging from inside the structure. This shouldn't be happening, especially in the desert. Something strange is going on here. In 2023, Westerman's team employed advanced technology to analyze the water within the Osirion, measuring its pressure, temperature, conductivity, and chemical composition. The results were astounding. The water in the Osirion was found to have a unique chemical profile, different from the surrounding wells and aquifers in the area. Westerman's research suggested that the water was being forced up through the structure, almost as though it were being propelled by some unknown force. The water's chemical composition and isotopic profile indicated that it did not originate from the nearby Nile River or local aquifers. Where, then, is this water coming from? The Osirion's water behaves more like that of a geyser, but without the typical signs of volcanic activity. Is there an underground spring or reservoir beneath the structure, or could the water be flowing from a deeper, as yet undiscovered source? One of the most intriguing aspects of the water is its unique properties. Westerman conducted hydrologic studies and found that the water within the Osirion was drinkable after filtration. Over time, Westerman began drinking the water regularly, and he noticed something extraordinary. His eyesight began to improve. A lifelong sufferer of nearsightedness, Westerman eventually no longer needed glasses, a fact that was confirmed by an eye test. Could the water from the Osirion possess healing properties? Westerman believes so and continues to drink the water, attributing his improved vision to its mysterious qualities. Yet another anomaly is the temperature of the water. The water outside the Osirion measures a consistent 16.9 degrees Celsius, but the water inside the structure is significantly warmer, measuring 23.8 degrees Celsius. This temperature difference defies the second law of thermodynamics, which states that heat cannot spontaneously transfer from a cooler to a warmer body. Something within the Osirion is heating the water, but no one knows what it is or how it is happening. As researchers continue to study the Osirion, its true scale and purpose remain elusive. What is visible today may only be the tip of the iceberg. The structure extends far beneath the surface, with hidden chambers still unexplored due to the constant flow of water. Could these underground chambers hold more secrets about the origins of the Osirion and its builders? As we probe deeper into the Osirion's mysteries, we are left with more questions than answers. One thing is certain: this ancient structure is far older and more complex than we ever imagined, and it may hold the key to understanding a lost chapter of human history. If you were captivated by today's video, then you're absolutely going to love our next adventure. We're diving even deeper into the mysteries of ancient Egypt, with Egyptologists discovered an ancient tunnel revealing tombs and something you'd never expect. Beneath Giza's sands, a groundbreaking discovery rewrites ancient Egyptian history. Egyptologists unearthed a water-filled tunnel, the Osiris shaft, predating the pyramids. What secrets does this ancient passage hold? What unexpected wonders lie within?
There's something called the Osiris shaft, which is located directly under the causeway between the Sphinx and the second pyramid. It goes about 100 feet underground. It's carved out of the limestone bedrock. It's the creepiest place I've ever been in my life. It's disturbing. So it's 3 different shafts, and you go down, and here's where it gets, this is the crazy part. When you get to the 3rd level, which is completely dark and freaky, there was a side tunnel. Zahi Hawass himself, there was a documentary, went down there, and he's standing in front of this tunnel that went sideways, and he says, it's yet to be explored, and I don't know what's down there, but Joe, they've since sealed it up. It's like cinder blocks, they sealed it up.
What?
Yes! There are things that have gone underground in Egypt that, for whatever reason, Joe, is just off limits to the public.
The archaeologists and the prehistorians, people are looking at that, have failed to take into account the severity of these events we're talking about. You don't realize the extent of the total remodeling of this planetary surface that took place. Because the question always is, where are the artifacts? Where's the pottery? Where is the evidence that this civilization existed?
Randall Carlson's theory about advanced ancient civilizations is truly fascinating and a bit of a departure from what we usually hear in mainstream archaeology. He's suggesting that highly sophisticated societies might have existed tens of thousands of years ago, way before the traditional cradles of civilization like Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley, and China came into the picture. Imagine civilizations thriving before or even during the last ice age, which wrapped up around 11,700 years ago. That idea alone pushes back the conventional timeline of human development by several thousand years. Now, when you look at the evidence Carlson brings to the table, it's primarily centered around those massive and mystifying megalithic structures scattered across the globe. Take the pyramids of Giza, for example. Their alignment with the stars of Orion's belt and the precision of their construction is just mind-blowing. Or Stonehenge with its solstitial alignment standing there on the Salisbury Plain.
Two of these shafts go all the way through the body of the pyramid and exit on the outside and actually point at particularly significant stars.
These structures suggest that the people who built them had a far more advanced understanding of astronomy than we usually give them credit for. Carlson dives into the engineering and architectural skills of these ancient builders. He talks about how they constructed these massive stone structures, some involving stones weighing several tons. Just think about the logistics of transporting and precisely placing these enormous stones over great distances. It indicates a level of engineering know-how and physical physics that seems way ahead of their time. Now moving on. Randall Carlson's theory about ancient civilizations is absolutely something different, isn't it? He really makes you think about the roots of our history in a new way. Just consider the megalithic structures scattered all over the world.
When you account for the rise of sea level and the isostatic subsidence of the sea floor, it's not at all implausible that you had a large island complex in the mid-Atlantic Ocean.
Carlson sees these as evidence of advanced prehistoric civilizations. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, is made up of over 2 million stone blocks, each weighing tons, and they're all placed with incredible precision. It's not just about the sheer size, but the sophistication in their construction. And it's not just in one place. These megalithic structures are everywhere, from the stone circles in Europe to the pyramids in Egypt and Mesoamerica. Carlson points out that the similarities in construction techniques and astronomical alignments across different cultures hint at a possibly shared or globally distributed source of knowledge. It's like these ancient builders were all tapping into the same advanced understanding, which is pretty mind-blowing to think about. Now, where it gets even more intriguing, is how Carlson links the disappearance of this advanced knowledge to catastrophic events. He often refers to the younger dryas impact hypothesis, suggesting that a comet impact might have triggered drastic climatic changes at the end of the Ice Age.
You may have periods of time where you have multiple impacts occurring over a short period of time associated with the destruction and disintegration of large comets.
Imagine massive flooding, climate shifts, and entire civilizations collapsing. It's like something out of a movie, but Carlson suggests it could be what wiped out these advanced societies and their knowledge. But here's the thing. He thinks this lost knowledge didn't just vanish. According to Carlson, it lived on in myths, legends, and religious texts, which he sees not just as stories, but as historical records. Take the flood myths, for example, like Noah's Ark or the Epic of Gilgamesh. Carlson sees these as allegorical references to actual historical events, like massive post-glacial flooding. He believes that remnants of knowledge from these advanced civilizations were passed down through generations, albeit in a fragmented and symbolically encoded way. Moving back to megalithic structures, Randall Carlson's work on the astronomical alignments of megalithic structures is like peeling back layers of history to reveal the deep astronomical knowledge of ancient civilizations. Take the megalithic temples of Malta, Hagar Kim, and Manajra, for instance. These structures aren't just old, they're among the oldest freestanding structures in the world, dating back to around 3,200 BC. What's really remarkable about them is how they demonstrate an intricate understanding of celestial movements, particularly the solar cycle. When you look at these temples, especially during the equinoxes, it's like watching a celestial dance choreographed by ancient architects. At Menagdra on the equinoxes, the sunlight filters through a specific aperture, illuminating an inner stone slab. It's this incredible precision that highlights how the builders weren't just stacking stones, they were aligning them with celestial events, marking the change of seasons with architectural precision. But it's not just about alignments. The architectural design itself is a marvel.
Some reference to such an event can be traced in many of the legends and myths surrounding these stars that have come down to us from nations far removed from each other.
The layout of the temples seems carefully planned to align with the sun's position at significant times of the year. For example, the main axis of Hagar Chim is almost perfectly oriented to where the sun rises during the solstices. It shows a level of planning and understanding of the sun's movements. And then there's the construction itself. We're talking about huge megaliths, each weighing several tons, placed with such accuracy that they align with celestial events. It wasn't just a matter of brute force, it required sophisticated knowledge of astronomy and construction techniques. Plus, they used local limestone, which is abundant in Malta. The complexity of these temples goes beyond just their size or the weight of the stones. They have multiple apses, altars and intricate carvings, all forming part of a complex architectural design. The series of semicircular chambers connected by a central corridor, and their alignment with specific astronomical events. The pyramids of Giza, especially the Great Pyramid, the precision with which these pyramids align to the cardinal points of the compass is just mind-boggling. Think about it. The Great Pyramid, built for Pharaoh Khufu around 2580–2560 BC, is aligned almost perfectly north, south, east, and west. The northern side aligns to within a fraction of a degree of true north. Considering the era it was built in, that's an incredible feat of geometry and astronomy. The construction techniques themselves are a mystery. The ancient Egyptians might have used stars or the sun's path to find true north, which implies they had advanced surveying techniques and a deep understanding of angles and straight lines. It's impressive when you consider the tools and technology available at the time. Then there's the fascinating Orion correlation theory. This theory suggests that the layout of the three main pyramids at Giza mirrors the stars in Orion's belt. Proponents like Robert Bauval believe this alignment was intentional, reflecting a belief in the connection between the heavens and the afterlife.
They speak of these two regions of the sky, the southern sky with the stars of Orion, and can we move one slide up? Here's a nice view of them. They're pristine, by the way. It's really eerie how they carve those texts by hand, and some of the details is extraordinary.
With Orion associated with Osiris, the god of rebirth and the afterlife, the pyramids in this view were not just tombs but also celestial maps and gateways for the pharaoh's soul to the afterlife. The smallest pyramid, Menkaura's pyramid, is slightly offset, mirroring the offset of the smallest star, Mintaka, in Orion's belt, which adds another layer of intrigue to this theory. The design of the pyramids also incorporates alignments with the sun and specific stars and constellations. For example, certain shafts within the Great Pyramid align with particular stars. These could have been more than architectural features. They might have held spiritual significance, possibly serving as pathways for the pharaoh's soul to the stars. Also, on specific days of the year, the sun sets between the pyramids, creating a visual spectacle likely significant in ancient Egyptian ceremonies. Now one of the most known megalithic structures.
Would it be fair to say that there's an element of a rediscovery of a lost technology from the past?
I think it would be fair to say that, yes.
Stonehenge, out there on the Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, England. What's particularly fascinating about Stonehenge is its astronomical alignment and how it was constructed. The way it lines up with the summer solstice is probably what it's most famous for. On the longest day of the year, the sun rises right over the heel stone, which is set just outside the main stone circle. As the sun comes up, its rays shoot straight through the entrance and light up the center of the circle. Stonehenge also aligns with the winter solstice and possibly other celestial events. During the winter solstice, the sunset is framed by those massive stone trilithons, and some experts think it might even line up with lunar phenomena, which just adds another layer to how the builders understood both the sun and the moon's movements. When you think about how Stonehenge was built, it's even more mind-blowing. The final form was completed around 2500 BC, but it was built in phases over about 1,500 years. The main part of the monument is made up of these huge sarsen stones arranged in a circle, and there are smaller blue stones that were brought over from Wales. That's over 150 miles away. And then there's the layout of the stones. They're set up in this specific geometric pattern with an outer circle, an inner horseshoe arrangement, and those trilithon structures. The precision in the layout and how the stones are oriented show a really deep understanding of geometry and astronomy. It's not just a bunch of rocks placed randomly. Everything at Stonehenge is set up with purpose and meaning, which makes you wonder a little bit, doesn't it?
Said to be buried together for thousands of years, the mystery of the lost tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony has remained a mystery. Perhaps that is, until today. This never-before-seen tunnel has been something regarded as an engineering miracle. And while that whole thing is huge, how does all of this happen in the first place?
The discovery of Cleopatra's tomb is undeniably one of the most thrilling and mysterious achievements in archaeology. Cleopatra VII, the final ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, has fascinated people for centuries with her intelligence, political shrewdness, and her famous romances with Roman leaders Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. For ages, the location of her final resting place remained one of history's most elusive mysteries. The breakthrough in the search for Cleopatra's tomb emerged in the early 21st century. This incredible discovery was driven by Dr. Zahi Hawass, Egypt's former Minister of Antiquities, and Kathleen Martinez, a Dominican lawyer turned self-taught archaeologist with a deep passion for Cleopatra. Martinez, fueled by her admiration for Cleopatra and her extensive research of ancient texts, posited that Cleopatra and Mark Antony were buried in the temple of Osiris Magna, near the ancient city of Alexandria. Martinez's theory was rooted in a detailed analysis of historical accounts by Plutarch and Cassius Dio, suggesting Cleopatra might have been buried in a temple dedicated to the goddess Isis. This idea contrasted with the prevailing belief that Cleopatra was interred within Alexandria itself. In 2005, Martinez obtained permission from the Egyptian authorities to commence excavations at Osiris Magna. The excavation at Osiris Magna was challenging. The site, located on the edge of the Libyan desert, posed significant difficulties due to its unstable structures and the complex layers of archaeological deposits. Over several years, the team uncovered notable artifacts, including coins with Cleopatra's likeness, statues, and inscriptions, all supporting the hypothesis that the site was connected to Cleopatra. A particularly intriguing aspect of this discovery was the mysterious and seemingly serendipitous nature of many findings. Key discoveries often coincided with unusual weather events like sudden sandstorms and unexpected rains, almost as if guiding the archaeologists to crucial areas. Some team members reported vivid dreams and visions of ancient rituals, which they interpreted as spiritual guidance. An especially fascinating discovery was a large, unfinished tunnel beneath the temple, leading to a series of chambers. This tunnel, carved with precise craftsmanship, suggested that the burial complex was intended for someone of extraordinary significance, possibly Cleopatra herself. Inside these chambers, the team found a hidden room containing a collection of golden artifacts and inscriptions referring to a Queen of Kings, a title often linked to Cleopatra. The initial announcement of the discovery of Cleopatra's tomb attracted immense media attention and widespread public interest. Press conferences were held, documentaries were produced, and the artifacts were meticulously catalogued and preserved. Many of these artifacts, including statues, jewelry, and coins, were exhibited in museums worldwide, drawing millions of visitors eager to learn more about Cleopatra and her era. Following the discovery, Osiris Magna became a focal point for ongoing archaeological research. Scholars and historians collaborated to further investigate the surrounding area, uncovering additional structures and artifacts that offered more insights into the Ptolemaic period. The discovery also led to a re-evaluation of other potential burial sites across Egypt, prompting new excavations and yielding fresh historical data. The site itself transformed into a popular tourist destination, significantly boosting the local economy and fostering a deeper appreciation for Egypt's rich cultural heritage. Educational programs and public lectures spread the knowledge gained from the discovery, inspiring a new generation of archaeologists and historians. Cleopatra's tomb holds a treasure trove of unique and fascinating facts that shed light on her life and reign. One of the most remarkable aspects of Cleopatra was her linguistic prowess. She was fluent in several languages, including Egyptian, Greek, Latin, and possibly others, which allowed her to communicate effectively with various cultures and political leaders. This multilingual ability was a significant asset in her diplomatic engagements and helped her maintain strong political ties. Cleopatra's reign was characterized by a remarkable blend of Egyptian and Hellenistic cultures. She embraced Egyptian customs and religious practices, presenting herself as the reincarnation of the goddess Isis, while also maintaining strong connections to her Greek heritage. This cultural syncretism was reflected in the art, architecture, and religious ceremonies of her time, creating a unique and vibrant cultural landscape. The tomb at Taposiris Magna, believed to be Cleopatra's final resting place, is a testament to her architectural vision. The complex features intricate carvings, hidden chambers, and sophisticated tunnels, highlighting the advanced engineering and architectural skills of the period. The tomb's design and construction reflect the grandeur and sophistication that Cleopatra likely envisioned for her eternal abode. The artifacts discovered within the tomb are rich with symbolism. Golden jewelry, statues, and inscriptions reflect Cleopatra's royal status, religious beliefs, and political ambitions. These artifacts offer a glimpse into her life, her reign, and her desire to be remembered as a divine ruler. The symbols and inscriptions provide valuable insights into how Cleopatra viewed herself and how she wanted to be perceived by future generations. The discovery of hidden chambers and tunnels within the tomb complex suggests that Cleopatra may have taken great care to ensure the security and sanctity of her final resting place. These hidden features indicate a sophisticated understanding of architecture and a deep respect for the afterlife. The hidden chambers and tunnels add an element of mystery and intrigue to the tomb, highlighting the lengths to which Cleopatra went to protect her legacy. The tomb complex at Taposiris Magna is extensive, featuring a series of interconnected chambers and tunnels. The main burial chamber, believed to be the final resting place of Cleopatra, is adorned with intricate carvings and decorated with golden artifacts. The size of the tomb and its elaborate design indicate that it was intended for a person of significant importance, supporting the theory that it belongs to Cleopatra. Among the artifacts discovered were numerous statues, some depicting Cleopatra herself, others representing Egyptian gods and goddesses. The team also found a wealth of golden jewelry, including necklaces, bracelets, and rings, many of which are inscribed with hieroglyphs and symbols associated with royalty and divinity. Additionally, coins bearing Cleopatra's likeness and inscriptions were uncovered, further supporting the identification of the tomb. These artifacts not only highlight Cleopatra's royal status, but also provide a tangible connection to the historical figure, enriching our understanding of her life and reign. One of the most enduring mysteries surrounding Cleopatra is the exact circumstances of her passing. The traditional account suggests that she took herself by allowing an asp, a venomous snake, to bite her. However, some scholars propose alternative theories. Another intriguing theory is that Cleopatra's relationship with Rome was more complex than commonly portrayed. Some historians believe that her alliances with Julius Caesar and later with Mark Antony were part of a broader strategy to create a unified Greco-Roman Egyptian empire, with Alexandria as its capital. This theory suggests that Cleopatra's ambitions extended beyond Egypt, envisioning a new world order centered around her rule. The discovery of Cleopatra's tomb has also sparked speculation about a potential curse associated with disturbing her final resting place. Similar to the curse of Tutankhamun's tomb, some believe that those who enter Cleopatra's tomb may face misfortune or supernatural retribution. While there is no concrete evidence to support this theory, it adds an element of mystery and intrigue to the discovery. One of the most mysterious coincidences related to the discovery of Cleopatra's tomb is the alignment of astrological events. Researchers noted that significant breakthroughs in the excavation process often coincided with notable celestial events, such as eclipses and planetary conjunctions. Some believe that these alignments were not mere coincidences, but rather signs of divine intervention or ancient knowledge encoded in the tomb's design. Several members of the excavation team reported experiencing intuitive insights and inexplicable hunches that guided their efforts. These insights often led to significant discoveries, such as the location of hidden chambers or the interpretation of cryptic inscriptions. While these experiences cannot be scientifically explained, they add a layer of mystery to the discovery process. Cleopatra's legacy also includes her efforts to position herself as a divine ruler. She was closely associated with the goddess Isis and often depicted herself as the goddess's earthly embodiment. This association was part of her strategy to legitimize her rule and strengthen her connection with the Egyptian people. The artifacts found in her tomb, including statues and inscriptions depicting her as Isis, underscore this aspect of her reign.
In the boxes in places like the Serapeum, which is probably my favorite site, because there's literally miles of tunnels beneath Saqqara. So it's like a giant underground necropolis. Inside the Serapeum, you have 25 of these things, which are these single-piece, like 100-ton granite boxes. They're insane. It's absolutely insane. And this one in particular is in an off-limits area that we went into that's rarely seen by tourists. We couldn't make the box without developing specific tools to do it, because the way they'd make it is they'd cut like 5 slabs and then bolt them together, you know, like a floor and then 4 walls, and they'd bolt it together into a box. These are single pieces. So what's impressive about that is it's like you have to quarry this one block of stone and then dig it out. You have to dig all of the inside out, and some of the examples of precision in the Serapeum are absolutely remarkable. You have perfect 90-degree corners in some of the boxes, perfect 90-degree interfaces with the lids, and some of these walls maintain that geometry from like being 11 feet apart. Like, that's insane. Like, that's one of the major challenges of this is in designing and maintaining that type of relative geometry in a space where you can't afford to make any mistakes.
The Serapeum of Saqqara, nestled near Cairo, holds one of ancient Egypt's most puzzling enigmas. Enormous granite boxes, often considered to be sarcophagi. These immense boxes, carved from single blocks of granite with an astonishing level of precision, continue to baffle archaeologists, engineers, and historians. How did the ancient Egyptians craft these structures with such detail and accuracy, sparking ongoing debates about their origins? These boxes are far from ordinary stone coffins. Each is crafted from a single block of granite, known for its extreme hardness and difficulty to work with. Some of these boxes, complete with their lids, weigh as much as 70 tons, while the raw blocks they were carved from likely weighed over 200 tons. What's truly remarkable is the precision of the craftsmanship. The corners are perfectly squared, and the surfaces are so smooth they seem to rival modern machinery in accuracy. Achieving this level of exactness, especially millennia ago, raises the question: did the ancient Egyptians possess technology beyond what we've ever imagined? The interior of these boxes is equally awe-inspiring. While the smooth exteriors are impressive enough, the flawless precision on the inside seems even more impossible. How did they hollow out these massive granite blocks with such accuracy, given the tools thought to be available at the time? Copper tools, often credited to the Egyptians, would have been insufficient for the task, and the uniform thickness of the walls suggests the use of sophisticated measurement techniques far ahead of their time. Such uniformity in these boxes is unparalleled in other Egyptian artifacts, leading to more questions. Hollowing out these granite blocks would have required not just immense labor, but an advanced understanding of stone-cutting techniques that we still don't fully comprehend. Conventional explanations, primarily focusing on copper tools, fall short when compared to the remarkable precision of these boxes. How then did the Egyptians achieve this level of perfection? Some theories propose that the builders had access to lost technology, perhaps advanced tools or machinery, now forgotten in the annals of history. Researchers speculate about high-speed drills, diamond-tipped saws, or other sophisticated equipment. The notion of advanced technology in ancient Egypt is controversial, yet the evidence presented by these granite boxes continues to fuel this debate. Adding to the mystery is the question of purpose. While traditionally believed to be sarcophagi for the sacred Apis bulls, the excessive craftsmanship for mere burials raises doubts. Could these boxes have served a more complex function, perhaps related to energy manipulation or another unknown scientific process? This question remains unanswered and continues to intrigue modern researchers. Even transporting these massive boxes presents an engineering challenge. The narrow and winding underground tunnels of the Serapeum would have made moving the 70-ton boxes an extraordinary feat, requiring advanced knowledge of engineering or transportation. Additionally, there are no visible signs of torches or burn marks in the tunnels. How did they light these spaces while moving such colossal objects? Despite the many mysteries, mainstream archaeologists attribute the precision and craftsmanship of the Serapeum boxes to the skill and patience of ancient Egyptian stoneworkers. They argue that, over generations, the Egyptians perfected their techniques, achieving incredible accuracy through dedication rather than technology. Critics of the advanced technology theory maintain that there is no concrete evidence supporting the existence of machines or sophisticated tools during the time these boxes were created. Yet, as more of these boxes are discovered throughout Egypt, the questions multiply. Across the country, similar examples of giant granite boxes exist, each demonstrating the same level of craftsmanship and precision. This suggests the possibility of a forgotten technology, one far beyond what is traditionally accepted in the study of ancient Egypt. One example, found in the Cairo Museum, displays an irregular slanted cut that was likely abandoned due to an error in the process. But this mistake tells more than expected. It reveals the possibility of a highly advanced cutting method. The cut extends deep into the granite, an impossible feat with traditional copper chisels or saws. The precision hints at the use of circular saws or similar tools capable of cutting through granite with speed and accuracy. Traditional theories suggest that the Egyptians used slow copper-based saws to cut granite. However, modern attempts to replicate this technique resulted in an excruciatingly slow cutting rate of only 4 millimeters per hour. At such a pace, it's implausible that ancient artisans wouldn't have corrected the significant deviation seen in the error. The precision of the cut suggests the use of advanced machinery far beyond what is typically attributed to ancient Egypt. Similar saw marks have been observed on other granite boxes, some of which are also displayed at the Cairo Museum. These marks resemble those made by modern band saws, but appear to indicate an even higher operational speed. Contemporary granite cutting saws rely on diamond-encrusted blades, technology believed to be far out of reach for the ancient Egyptians. Yet the marks persist, challenging our understanding of the tools available in that era. Adding to the intrigue are the perfectly round tube drill holes found in various granite artifacts throughout Egypt. The depth and uniformity of these holes suggest the use of advanced drills, possibly equipped with diamond-tipped tools. One of the most striking examples is Core 7, a cylindrical piece of granite discovered near the Great Pyramids. The continuous spiral groove on Core 7 resembles the groove of a vinyl record. In fact, modern machinery that could produce such a result would require high-speed rotation and diamond-tipped tools, technologies not associated with ancient Egypt. Core 7's spiral grooves suggest a force and precision greater than modern power drills, raising the question of whether the Egyptians, or a lost civilization, had access to technology now lost to history. Across Egypt, the evidence of these granite boxes continues to challenge mainstream views. Could these artifacts have been created by a lost civilization with advanced technology? Or are we simply missing a piece of the puzzle regarding how the Egyptians worked with stone? The precision, craftsmanship, and technology evident in these objects suggest that they were made with methods we don't yet understand. The most extraordinary example of precision stonework may be the granite box discovered beneath the pyramid at Lahun. Within a polished granite chamber lies a tilted box with 4 corners so perfectly aligned that modern measurement tools reveal almost no discrepancy. Another similar box was found at Mastaba 17, buried beneath a pile of mud bricks. Both examples display precision that raises questions about their origin and purpose. Could these boxes have been repurposed by the Egyptians, who may have inherited them from a lost civilization? The mystery of these granite boxes remains unsolved. Could they represent the remnants of a prehistoric civilization with knowledge far beyond our current understanding? Perhaps this explains why these objects were later used by the Egyptians for seemingly simple purposes like sarcophagi, because they, like us today, did not fully understand their true purpose. If you enjoyed this video, then prepare to embark on an extraordinary journey. Our next adventure takes us to the heart of Egypt, where we'll unravel the mystery surrounding an ancient pharaoh shrouded in legend. This extraordinary ruler was said to be half human, reigning for an astonishing 16,000 years, a feat that defies the boundaries of modern science. It's a story filled with intrigue and enigma, one that's bound to leave you questioning the very limits of our understanding.
Thoth talks in the Emerald Tablets about being able to go into these halls of Amenti where he had rejuvenation chambers, which is what I believe is the Serapeum in Saqqara. And he would go into these gigantic stone boxes and he would then transfer his consciousness from his body into another body. And he would leave the body that he left inside of one of those gigantic boxes, one of those gigantic diorite stone boxes for 100 years while it recharged itself and rejuvenated. While he said he walks amongst men but unlike a man. And he would do this for eons. He would transfer from body to body, not bodies he stole, bodies he created, that he created himself through probably some advanced form of stem cell technology. And he would walk amongst men but unlike a man, and he was known all around the planet. And it's an incredible tablet that talks about the reigns of kings.
Yeah.
Some kings ruled for 28,800 years, 14,000 years. I mean, 20,000. If the numbers are insane.
These are not Egyptian?
This is no, not Egyptian. These are Anunnaki.
You're looking at the limestone interior of the Abu Ruwash pyramid, and this is the core. And we can descend into the core in this unique structure, unlike the other pyramids.
Oh my God, what's this? Wow. Very deep pit. That looks to me like a boat pit.
No way. Look at these lines. Look at these striations.
Exactly.
Look at these striations.
And also the higher parts and the lower parts shows that it was not all cut at once.
Exactly.
It was like...
Especially here. This
here and here.
Exactly. Yeah, here and there.
Exactly. You can see where the blade came back.
And we're talking about red granite from Aswan. How did they bring it up here? We are here in a mountainous region.
The Giza Plateau is one of the most iconic and mysterious ancient sites on Earth, home to the Great Pyramid, the Sphinx, and numerous other relics of antiquity. It has captured the imaginations of explorers, historians, and enthusiasts for centuries. While many can easily picture the grandeur of these structures, few realize that these monuments are still steeped in mystery. Despite centuries of study, questions remain unanswered about who built them, and more intriguingly, why. Just 5 miles to the southwest of Giza, within the lesser-known necropolis of Zoyet Elaran, lies a site that may hold the key to solving some of Egypt's greatest mysteries. In May 1900, Italian architect and Egyptologist Alessandro Barsanti was researching the Layer Pyramid at Zoyet Elaran. Having previously discovered the tomb of Akhenaten, Barsanti had earned a respected reputation in his field. However, the Layer Pyramid disappointed him. It was crumbling, incomplete, and devoid of artifacts. Like other Egyptologists before him, Barsanti concluded the pyramid had been abandoned due to the death of the king who commissioned it. Discouraged, Barsanti began his return journey to Giza, but he took an alternative route along an upper plateau, offering sweeping views of the landscape. It was here that he noticed something unusual. scattered granite fragments, and fine granite powder. Evidence of stone cutting. Barsanti immediately suspected this was where ancient workers had prepared stone for a hidden tomb. Intrigued, Barsanti returned to Giza and assembled a team to explore the site. Within 2 days of excavation, his intuition proved correct. Beneath the sand, Barsanti uncovered the entrance to an enormous limestone pit. To his surprise, the pit was filled with large limestone blocks, each weighing several tons, seemingly thrown in without care, suggesting a deliberate attempt to conceal what lay below. On December 8th, at a depth of 21 meters, the team uncovered a significant find: a large pink granite block. Granite was not only more valuable than limestone, but also harder to work with, reserved for only the most important structures. This discovery convinced Barsanti that they had found something special. As excavation continued, more pink granite blocks were revealed, suggesting a massive subterranean structure. By February 1905, Barsanti and his team uncovered a 30-ton granite block that seemed to mark the bottom of the pit. Barsanti believed this was the entrance to a subterranean world, potentially filled with tombs and treasures. Complicating the mystery, his team also found inscriptions carved into the stones. Despite sending sketches to Egyptologists in Giza and Cairo, no one could agree on their meaning or origin. This deepened Barsanti's conviction that something extraordinary was hidden below. Barsanti used machinery to move the granite blocks, but they were interlocked like puzzle pieces. Digging further, Barsanti made his most astonishing discovery yet: an oval-shaped vat carved from pink granite, polished to a mirror-like finish. It had been carefully sealed with layers of lime and clay. When the team removed the lid, they found no treasure, only a thin black residue along the walls. Barsanti hypothesized that the vat once contained a liquid offering that had evaporated over time. Despite the disappointment, Barsanti believed the mysterious vat held great significance. Why had the builders gone to such lengths to protect it? Determined to solve the puzzle, Barsanti continued his excavation, uncovering a massive cork-like granite block, sealing off what he believed were hidden chambers below. Word of Barsanti's discoveries spread, but many of his colleagues remained skeptical. They insisted the pit was merely the foundation of an unfinished pyramid. However, Barsanti pressed on, and 2 events seemed to support his theory. First, his team uncovered a well-finished staircase at the pit's northern end. Too refined for laborers, as if it led to ceremonial chambers. Then, a torrential rainstorm flooded the pit, only for the water level to drop suddenly, as if it had seeped into a hidden chamber below. Despite mounting obstacles, including the complex interlocking granite blocks and dwindling funds, Barsanti continued his work. By 1906, however, he ran out of money and had to stop the excavation. He spent years searching for new funding and finally secured it in 1911. Yet even with renewed efforts, the work proved too difficult. And once again, Barsanti was forced to abandon the project before uncovering what lay beneath the pit. He died in 1917, leaving the mystery unresolved. Barsanti's work sparked a lingering curiosity about Zoyet Elaran, but the site lay dormant for decades after his death. In the 1950s, it briefly resurfaced as the set for the movie The Land of the Pharaohs, but it was soon forgotten again. Barsanti's notes eventually caught the attention of Italian scholars Vito Maragioglio and Celeste Rinaldi, who set out to continue his work in the 1960s. However, their efforts were cut short when, in 1964, the Egyptian government restricted access to Zoyet Elaran, designating it as a military base. This abrupt restriction of access raised suspicions. Why was the government blocking off this site just as interest in it was reviving? To this day, many Egyptologists assert there is no mystery at Zoyet Elaran, claiming the pit is simply the foundation of an unfinished pyramid. Yet Barsanti, who studied Egypt's ancient wonders for decades, was adamant that this was no ordinary pyramid foundation. If the pit was just a foundation, why go to such lengths to construct a floor made of interlocking granite blocks, held together by strong mortar, and designed to be nearly impossible to move. Furthermore, why use valuable pink granite, which had to be transported from Aswan, nearly 600 miles away, if the structure was to be buried under a pyramid? Limestone, far easier to source and work with, would have sufficed. Then, there was the mystery of the inscriptions Barsanti found at the site. Scholars to this day remain divided on their meaning. And what about the finely crafted oval vat? If this was a pyramid foundation, why go to such great lengths to intricately carve this vat, polish it, and seal it with lime and clay? In recent years, a new theory has emerged, connecting the mystery of Zoyet Elaran to the Great Pyramid of Giza. For centuries, the Great Pyramid has puzzled historians. Conventional wisdom holds that it was built as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, but no human remains, treasures, or artifacts have ever been found inside, leading many to question this explanation. In the 1960s, Edward Kunkel proposed a radical theory. The Great Pyramid was not a tomb, but a massive water pump designed to irrigate the desert. Kunkel argued that the pyramid's internal chambers and passages functioned as part of a hydraulic system. His theory was met with skepticism, but some engineers saw merit in the idea. They pointed out that a ram pump, which uses gravity to move water, could have worked on the scale Kunkel proposed. By the 1990s, marine engineer John Cadman took Kunkel's theory further. He studied the pyramid's subterranean chamber and found signs of water damage. Cadman built a scale model of the pyramid's subterranean chamber and confirmed that it could function as a water pump. His experiments led to an unexpected discovery. The pyramid generated powerful compression waves, pulses that could create electricity. This raised a startling question. Could the ancient Egyptians have used the Great Pyramid to generate electricity? Cadman's research suggested it was possible. The pyramid's outer casing of insulating white limestone, its granite interior, and its gold capstone all pointed to a design capable of generating and harnessing electrical energy. With this new perspective, researchers revisited the mystery of Zoyet Elaran. Could the pit have been part of an ancient electrical system connected to the Great Pyramid? Some believe the oval vat may have played a key role in this system, with the black residue providing evidence of a long-lost process for generating electricity. Perhaps this is why the Egyptian government sealed off Zoyet Elaran in the 1960s. What secrets lie beneath the pit? Could it hold proof of an ancient civilization's advanced technology? As research continues, we may one day uncover the truth about an ancient Egypt far more advanced than we ever imagined. If you were captivated by this video's journey, prepare to be transported once more. Our next video unveils the enigma of the forgotten pyramids of Meroe, a hidden world of ancient wonders waiting to be rediscovered.
I mean, it's just crazy. We've talked about, alternative theories to how the pyramids were built.
Yeah. I'm willing to accept that the Great Pyramid was largely completed by the ancient Egyptians. But remember that the ancient Egyptians tell us in many of their texts that everything they knew was a legacy. It was all an inheritance of the gods, and I don't construe the gods as aliens.
When we gaze upon the sophistication of ancient Egypt, when we contemplate the sheer scale and precision of the pyramids, a sense of awe washes over us. How did a civilization, seemingly isolated in the vast expanse of the desert, achieve such feats? We're left to speculate, to imagine a society capable of moving 500-ton stone blocks over 500 miles. The Almagest, a 2nd century mathematical and astronomical treatise by Ptolemy, showcases the advanced understanding of celestial mechanics prevalent in the Hellenistic period, hinting at knowledge that may have roots in earlier Egyptian traditions.
In the ancient city of Luxor, nestled within the majestic walls of its temple, lies a mystery that throws our understanding of ancient Egypt's science and philosophy into disarray. Egyptologist R.A. Schwaller de Lubitsch after dedicating 12 years to an exhaustive study of the Temple of Luxor, posited a radical idea. The ancient Egyptians possessed a sophisticated, immutable knowledge, fully formed from the earliest dynasties. This knowledge, as detailed in his seminal work, The Temple of Man, published in 1957, suggested a comprehension of the universe far exceeding that of contemporaneous civilizations. De Lubic's meticulous research into the temple's intricate carvings and architectural design led him to a remarkable discovery. He termed it transparency. While meticulously copying temple plans and examining wall carvings, he observed tiny stones embedded within larger blocks, previously dismissed as mere errors or repairs. De Lubic proposed that these stones were, in fact, deliberate markers, placed by master builders to indicate precise measurements. This revelation, supported by his own adjusted measurements, unveiled even more astonishing findings. He observed that carvings on opposite sides of some walls appeared to align in seemingly impossible ways, as if the stone between them was transparent, allowing the design to flow seamlessly through. This phenomenon, which De Lubic likened to a see-through banknote, as described in his work Sacred Science, suggested a level of craftsmanship and intentionality that defies conventional understanding of ancient architecture. The temple's carvings, he realized, could only be fully appreciated when viewed as a continuous design, transcending the physical limitations of the stone itself. One striking example of this transparency can be found between Room 12 and Room 5 in the Temple of Luxor. A stone block separating these rooms features carvings that seem to project through the stone itself. In Room 12, a hieroglyph for cloth is carved, while in Room 5, a box for cloths appears. The two images align perfectly, as if the stone were transparent. The technical precision required to achieve this effect raises profound questions about the knowledge and skills of the ancient builders. De Lubic's discoveries extended beyond transparency. He also identified transposition, a technique where symbols and carvings were arranged across different parts of the temple to create multidimensional connections. For instance, Montu's solar disk in Room 2 is conceptually projected into the shrine of Amun-Ra's boat in Room 6. The boat's contents are hidden, requiring the observer to explore multiple spaces to grasp the intended meaning. These techniques suggest a level of philosophical and scientific depth in ancient Egyptian culture that modern Egyptology had long overlooked. De Lubic argued that the Egyptians weren't merely concealing knowledge within their architecture. They were presenting a more profound, spatial form of understanding. By dividing concepts across different parts of the temple, the Egyptians created an environment where knowledge was experienced holistically, rather than as isolated facts or images. In his groundbreaking work, The Temple of Man, De Lubic revealed an entirely new architectural grammar. This grammar, encoded in the blocks, shapes, joints, and symbolic overlays, transformed the Egyptian temple into a living library of knowledge, accessible only through deep, immersive study. His discoveries fundamentally redefined how scholars approach ancient Egyptian architecture, leading to a radical re-evaluation of the intellectual achievements of this ancient civilization. The most revolutionary aspect of De Lubic's work was the realization that the meaning of inscriptions and symbols on one wall could not be fully understood without considering their relationships to carvings in other parts of the temple. This interconnectedness suggested a three-dimensional approach to knowledge, engaging the observer on multiple levels. For De Lubic, the true purpose of transparency and transposition was not merely to complete an idea, but to clarify it in a way that transcended traditional communication methods. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of the Temple of Luxor, it becomes increasingly evident that the ancient Egyptians possessed a unique understanding of art and science. Their use of transparency and transposition reflected a worldview that seamlessly connected the physical and the metaphysical, the material and the immaterial. Transparency in particular hinted at a belief that solid matter was, in a sense, deceptive, with light, or knowledge itself, being the true fundamental reality. De Lubic's discoveries at the Temple of Luxor did more than challenge traditional views of Egyptian architecture. They opened a door to a new understanding of how the Egyptians perceived the world. Through transparency and transposition, he uncovered a sophisticated system of thought that extended far beyond the temple's walls. He believed this system could be found in other artifacts, such as papyri, which contained multi-layered meanings intended to be understood holistically. Transparency, for example, was more than a mere architectural technique. It represented a deeper philosophical belief. By prioritizing light over solid matter, the Egyptians expressed a worldview that saw physical reality as secondary to the metaphysical. De Lubac suggested that this belief in the primacy of light explains why transparency was central to the Temple of Luxor's design. The stone blocks weren't just barriers, but conduits for knowledge and understanding. Transposition added yet another dimension to this philosophy, emphasizing the importance of seeing beyond the surface. To fully understand the temple, one had to move through it, experiencing the connections between different spaces and symbols. This design reflected an understanding of spatial awareness and perception that resonates with modern psychological theories, such as Gestalt. Gestalt psychology, which emerged in the early 20th century, emphasizes that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Human perception naturally organizes individual elements into a unified whole, rather than analyzing each part in isolation. De Lubac's work mirrors this idea, as he argued that the carvings and inscriptions in the temple were part of a larger, interconnected system. Just as Gestalt theory highlights the importance of perceiving the overall form, de Lubac focused on perceiving the entire meaning of the temple. De Lubac's discoveries inevitably lead to profound questions. Who were the true originators of this knowledge? Were the Egyptians solely responsible for developing these advanced ideas, or were they inheritors of a wisdom passed down from an even older, perhaps lost civilization? And what can these ancient ideas teach us about the very nature of reality? By connecting ancient Egyptian concepts with modern scientific theories, we can unlock new insights into the mysteries of the past and entertain the possibility that the answers to our most profound questions may lie not in the future, but in the echoes of the distant past.
Very little is left of the ancient North American monuments. More than 90% of the structures that were documented in the 19th century are now completely gone. And of the less than 10% that remain, the majority have been vandalized and destroyed.
Discovering the ancient Maya civilization has been like piecing together a giant, fascinating puzzle. Picture this. Back in the 16th century, Spanish explorers led by folks like Hernán Cortés stumbled upon the remnants of a once glorious civilization, with towering cities now reclaimed by the jungle.
Oh, the tragedy of the North American pyramids. There was once more than 1 million of them. Only 100,000 are left now.
Sadly, their initial encounters weren't the most respectful. A lot of Maya history got lost or destroyed, thanks to biases and a general lack of understanding.
The horrendous catastrophe of the Spanish conquest. The Spanish sent ahead of them terrible diseases like smallpox.
Fast forward to the 19th century, and there's a renewed buzz about the Maya. This time, it's explorers and adventurers trekking through the jungles of Central America and the Yucatan Peninsula, hungry for knowledge about these ancient peoples. Two guys, John Lloyd Stephens and Frederick Catherwood, became the rock stars of Maya exploration. In the 1830s and 1840s, they journeyed to sites like Copan and Palenque, sketching and writing about their finds. Their work lit up the world's imagination with tales and visuals of the Maya's grand cities and sophisticated culture. By the 20th century, studying the Maya had become a serious scientific endeavor. Archaeologists got down and dirty in the ruins, conducting careful digs and uncovering secrets that the Maya left behind. Big projects at places like Copan and Chichen Itza peeled back layers of mystery, revealing intricate details about how the Maya lived, worshipped, and governed themselves.
If you have a relatively short time frame to deal with, then searching for a lost civilization becomes much more complex and much more difficult.
Discoveries at Tikal and Palenque gave us peeks into royal life, with their elaborate tombs and stunning artwork, not to mention proof of the Mayas' knack for architecture and stargazing. The lost city of El Mirador, hidden for centuries beneath the dense canopy of northern Guatemala's jungle, stands as a monumental witness to the ancient Maya civilization's grandeur and ingenuity. Rediscovered in the late 20th century, this city has profoundly reshaped our understanding of the Maya, pushing back the timeline of their architectural and societal achievements to much earlier than previously recognized. Flourishing from the 6th century BCE, El Mirador was a preeminent city in the Maya world during the pre-classic period, centuries before the rise of the more commonly known classical Maya cities such as Tikal and Palenque. Its scale and complexity are astonishing, with sprawling urban centers, elaborate plazas, and sophisticated water management systems, including reservoirs and canals, that supported a densely populated area at its zenith. The centerpiece of El Mirador is the colossal Ladanta Pyramid. Towering above the forest, Ladanta is not just the largest pyramid in the Maya world, but also one of the most massive ancient structures in the world by volume. The pyramid's base covers an area larger than 9 football fields, and it rises to a height of approximately 230 feet. Constructing Ladanta would have required moving millions of cubic meters of earth and stone. A staggering feat given the absence of metal tools, the wheel, or domesticated beasts of burden. This monumental effort underscores the advanced engineering skills and social organization of the Maya, capable of mobilizing and sustaining such a large workforce. El Mirador's discovery also brought to light an extensive network of raised causeways, known as Serapeum, connecting it with other cities and settlements across the region. These causeways facilitated trade, movement, and possibly acted as political and ceremonial pathways, illustrating the city's importance as a regional hub. One of the most intriguing theories about El Mirador, and the pre-classic Maya in general, concerns the reasons for the city's decline and eventual abandonment around the end of the first millennium BCE. Researchers speculate that extensive deforestation and the demands of large-scale agriculture may have led to environmental degradation, reducing the city's ability to support its population. This theory suggests a cautionary tale about the sustainability of human-environment interactions, echoing modern concerns about environmental management and conservation. Comparatively, El Mirador and its monumental architecture can be paralleled with ancient Egypt's Old Kingdom, which was contemporaneously constructing its own colossal structures, including the pyramids of Giza. Both civilizations achieved remarkable architectural feats without the advantages of modern technology, relying instead on a profound understanding of engineering, astronomy, and mathematics. However, whereas Egypt's pyramids served primarily as tombs for pharaohs, Maya pyramids like Ladanta were multifunctional, serving as temples and possibly observatories, reflecting the Mayas' integrated approach to religion, governance, and science. The decipherment of the Maya script stands as one of the most enthralling detective stories in the history of archaeology and linguistics. For centuries, the intricate hieroglyphs carved into stone monuments, painted on pottery, and written in the few surviving bark paper books remained a locked treasure trove of the ancient Maya civilization's wisdom. The breakthrough in the 20th century, primarily attributed to the insights of Russian linguist Yuri Knorozov, transformed our understanding of the Maya, unveiling a civilization rich in history, culture, and scientific knowledge. The Maya script is a complex system of glyphs which had stumped scholars for years. Early attempts at decipherment were hampered by the assumption that the script was purely ideographic, representing ideas rather than sounds, much like the Egyptian hieroglyphs before their decipherment. This led to numerous speculative and often incorrect interpretations of Maya texts. The turning point came in the 1950s with Yuri Knorozov. He proposed that the glyphs were not only logographic, but also phonetic, representing sounds. Knorozov's insight was based on the use of the Landa alphabet, a set of glyphs recorded by Spanish Bishop Diego de Landa, which had been dismissed by many as inaccurate. Knorozov suggested that these glyphs could represent phonetic sounds as well as logographic symbols. This approach opened the door to reading the Maya script as a fully functional writing system that included phonetic elements. Knorozov's work sparked a new wave of interest and research, leading to a collaborative international effort to crack the Maya code. Scholars such as David Kelly, Tatiana Proskuriakov, and later Linda Scheller and David Stewart, among others, made significant contributions. Proskuriakov, in particular, was instrumental in demonstrating that many inscriptions were historical records of Maya rulers and their deeds, rather than purely mythological texts as previously thought. This shifted the direction of Maya epigraphy towards historical reconstruction. One fascinating theory that has emerged from the study of Maya texts is the advanced nature of Maya astronomy and mathematics. The decipherment of the Dresden Codex, one of the surviving Maya books, revealed complex tables for predicting lunar and solar eclipses, the movements of the planet Venus, and the cycles of the Maya calendar. At the heart of their astronomical studies was the observatory at Chichen Itza, known as the Caracol. This structure, with its distinctive round dome and strategically placed openings, served as a window to the heavens, allowing Maya astronomers to accurately track the movements of Venus, the Sun, and other significant celestial entities. The precise alignment of the Caracol's windows with these celestial bodies' appearances and disappearances throughout the year underscores the Mayas' advanced architectural skills and their capacity to harmonize their construction efforts with their extensive knowledge of astronomy. This integration of astronomy into various aspects of Maya life highlights a civilization that valued the stars not merely as subjects of curiosity, but as essential guides for earthly endeavors. The Mayas' legacy in astronomy, evidenced by their codices, observatories, and calendars, offers a glimpse into a society that found harmony in the cosmic order and sought to align its terrestrial activities with the celestial rhythm. It's a tale not too dissimilar to the story of the Rosetta Stone and the Egyptian hieroglyphs, but with a twist. You see, the Rosetta Stone was like getting the cheat codes to understand Egyptian hieroglyphs because it had translations right there. But with the Maya, there wasn't a neat bilingual text lying around. Instead, figuring out what those intricate carvings and paintings meant required a mix of smart guessing, deep cultural dives, and a bit of detective work in understanding the symbols not just as pictures, but as a complex blend of sounds and meanings. Now imagine trying to understand a writing system that's not only about what things are, but also how they sound. And that's what the Maya script is all about. It's this incredible collection of over 800 different glyphs, making it one of the showiest, most elaborate scripts you could lay your eyes on. And the coolest part, we're still unlocking the secrets of this ancient script. The Maya script's ongoing decipherment is a reminder that history isn't just about looking back. It's a story that keeps evolving as we learn more.
Imagine a structure so grand, so impossibly complex, that it was deemed one of the wonders of the ancient world, a place whispered about in hushed tones, a place of myth and legend, even in its own time. The historian Herodotus, a man who had witnessed the majestic pyramids of Giza in their full glory, a man who had traversed the known world, even he was humbled. He wrote that this edifice exceeded in splendor even the mighty pyramids. He called it the Labyrinth, a sprawling colossal maze of stone and shadow, said to contain thousands of chambers, both above and below ground, a place where the unwary could wander for eternity, lost in its endless corridors. For centuries, it stood as a testament to the power and ingenuity of a forgotten age, a place of ritual, of worship perhaps, of secrets best left undisturbed. This was the Labyrinth of Egypt, and its true purpose remains one of history's greatest mysteries.
Herodotus, Pliny the Elder, Strabo, these titans of history all chronicled its existence. They spoke of a colossal 1,000-room structure, a maze of unparalleled magnificence. Herodotus, in his histories, penned these words. "I found it greater than words could tell, for although the temples at Ephesus and Samos are noteworthy, though the pyramids were greater than words can tell, and each one of them a match for many great monuments built by Greeks, one still, the Labyrinth, surpasses even the pyramids." Imagine a structure so massive that, according to Herodotus, you could fit all the temples of Karnak and Luxor, in fact, all the known temples of ancient Egypt, within its footprint. This architectural marvel was lost to the sands of time, its location and true nature shrouded in mystery for millennia. It would have rivaled the Great Pyramid in scope and ambition had it survived. But it turns out we did find it. Nestled near the Fayum oasis, the Hawara pyramid site may appear unremarkable today. But to ancient historians, it was a place of awe and grandeur. Herodotus, often called the father of history, described it in terms that still leave modern scholars in awe. He recounted that compared to the labyrinth he encountered, even the grandest Greek temples and pyramids paled in both effort and expense. For centuries, however, many dismissed his account as fanciful or exaggerated, especially given Herodotus's reputation for embellishment. However, as time passed, more of his descriptions have been vindicated, particularly regarding his accounts of Lake Meris near Hawara. He spoke of 2 pyramids rising nearly 93 meters above the surface of the water, each crowned with a seated stone statue. In the late 19th century, famed British archaeologist Flinders Petrie confirmed the presence of 2 seated colossi, each about 18 meters high and made of hard quartzite sandstone. This discovery was one of many that would lend credence to Herodotus's words. The site of the Hawara pyramid holds far more than just these statues. When researchers began to investigate the pyramid itself, they unearthed evidence of remarkable ancient engineering. Despite its present appearance, a crumbling pile of dark mud, the pyramid conceals a megalithic core built with astounding precision. Beneath its decayed exterior, the masonry is of exceptional quality, with blocks fitted so tightly that not even a blade could slip between them. This core represents 2 distinct types of ancient technologies. One, the megalithic stone core, and the other, a more fragile mud brick construction that has long since crumbled. Flinders Petrie, a pioneer in the study of ancient Egyptian architecture, was the first to delve into this mystery in detail. He noted that the stone casing of the pyramid had been removed during Roman times, leaving the interior exposed to the elements. Unlike other pyramids of the time, the entrance to this one was on the south side, not the north, and lay at ground level. It was designed with descending passages that had ramps on both sides, resembling a system for moving heavy cargo. This unique layout distinguished the Hawara pyramid from others in Egypt, leading Petrie to believe that its original purpose may have been different from typical pyramids. One of the most astonishing aspects of the structure is its system of trapdoors, massive stone slabs weighing around 20 tons each, designed to seal off passageways. Petrie located 3 such trapdoors, all of which had been left open. His exploration of the pyramid led him to a central chamber carved from a single block of quartzite sandstone, forming a large tank-like structure in which a sarcophagus was placed. This colossal monolith, weighing over 110 tons, had been hewn with such precision. Petrie marveled at the technical skill required to carve and place such an enormous block of stone into a carefully excavated hollow. What truly puzzled Petrie, however, was the design of the tomb itself. There was no visible entrance, and the only way the pharaoh's body could have been placed inside would have been during the construction of the pyramid. Even more curiously, no inscriptions were found inside the chamber or on the sarcophagus, a rarity for a royal tomb. Instead, Petrie found only traces of charred bones, charcoal, and remnants of burnt diorite, suggesting that whatever had once been inside the sarcophagus had been deliberately destroyed by fire. The mystery deepened when Petrie examined a second sarcophagus in the chamber, one that appeared to have been added after the pyramid's construction. This later addition was smaller and lacked the technical precision of the original sarcophagus, raising questions about the purpose and timeline of the additions to the tomb. It was as though the pyramid had been used for multiple distinct purposes over time, each contributing to its enigmatic history. While Petrie focused on the pyramid, he also uncovered evidence of a much larger structure nearby, the legendary Labyrinth of Egypt, which had long been mentioned in ancient texts. Herodotus had described it as a massive complex of 3,000 rooms, arranged in a maze-like formation, some above ground and others below. He was forbidden from entering the underground chambers, as they were said to house the tombs of kings and sacred crocodiles. Yet what Herodotus saw above ground left him awestruck, and later historians would echo his astonishment. Strabo, a Greek geographer who visited the site centuries later, described the labyrinth's monolithic ceilings and walls, each constructed from enormous slabs of stone. When Petrie began excavating the area in front of the Hawara pyramid, he uncovered evidence of this labyrinth beneath the remains of a later village. Beneath the village, he found layers of stone chips and fragments, the remains of what had once been an enormous stone structure. He concluded that this was indeed the foundation of the fabled labyrinth. His findings aligned with the ancient accounts. The structure was so large that, as he noted, it could have contained the temples of Karnak and Luxor within its boundaries. However, the labyrinth had long since been destroyed, its stones quarried and repurposed by later generations. All that remained were the foundations and fragments, a ghost of the massive structure that had once stood there. And yet, despite the extensive damage, Petrie's findings suggested that this labyrinth had been far more than just a building. It was a monumental work of engineering and architecture that had once awed the ancient world. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of Hawara, it becomes clear that this site still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. The labyrinth, described by Herodotus, Strabo, and other classical writers, may not be entirely lost. In fact, modern technology has revealed tantalizing clues that suggest much of it may still lie hidden beneath the sands, waiting to be rediscovered. Did this adventure spark your curiosity? Then prepare to have it ignited, because our next journey will take you deep into the heart of ancient Egypt, to unearth the secrets of Tannis. This lost city, once a rival to the mighty Thebes, now lies in silent ruin, a testament to a forgotten power and a devastating fate. The Bible speaks of divine judgment, but could a more earthly terror, an ancient weapon like the infamous Greek fire, be the true culprit? Join us as we sift through the sands of time, analyzing the evidence etched onto its colossal statues and scorched stones, exploring the theories that shroud Tannis in an enigma. This is more than just an exploration, it's a quest for truth in a city lost to time. Like and subscribe to join us as we delve deeper into the mysteries of the ancient world.
Before you stretches a scene of haunting desolation. Not the shadow of the Great Pyramids, but a place equally steeped in ancient power, yet far less known. This is Tannis, the city of the sun, a name whispered in ancient texts, a place of sacred rituals and immense wealth. But look closer. Priceless statues bear the scars of unimaginable heat. Colossal pillars, once symbols of a mighty civilization, lie shattered as if crushed by the hand of a vengeful god. What happened here? Was this city known as Zoan in the Bible truly cursed? Did it fall victim to the shifting sands of the Nile or to the wrath of invaders? Or is the truth even more astonishing? Imagine a statue 100 feet tall, carved from solid granite, weighing more than 1,500 family cars. A feat that would challenge even modern engineers. Tannis holds secrets etched in scorched stone, secrets that speak of a fiery cataclysm. Was this the work of man, of nature, or of something more? Join us as we journey into the heart of an ancient enigma to uncover the lost story of Tannis, a city swallowed by time, waiting to reveal its truth.
The ancient underwater city of Alexandria, located at the mouth of the Nile River in Egypt, is a treasure trove of archaeological wonders and historical insights. Founded by Alexander the Great in 331 BCE, it quickly rose to become the cultural and economic hub of the ancient world. However, parts of this legendary city succumbed to the sea due to earthquakes and tsunamis over centuries. Diving into the depths of the Mediterranean, Frank Goddio and his team's exploration of Alexandria's underwater ruins stands as a testament to human curiosity and technological prowess. The discovery of this ancient city submerged beneath the sea intertwines the grand narratives of history, technology, and myth, offering a window into one of antiquity's greatest civilizations. The use of state-of-the-art technology, including submersible robots and sophisticated sonar mapping, marks a significant evolution in underwater archaeology, reminiscent of the groundbreaking exploration of the Titanic wreck. Yet, while the Titanic's discovery opened the deep sea to archaeologists, Goddio's project breathed life back into ancient urban landscapes, showcasing the advancements in archaeological methods. The preservation of artifacts and structures found underwater presents unique challenges, starkly contrasting with those encountered in the preservation of the Dead Sea Scrolls. The saltwater environment of Alexandria erodes materials over time, demanding innovative solutions for conservation, highlighting the diverse challenges archaeologists face based on the context of their discoveries. The uncovering of the royal quarters and temples in Alexandria offers unparalleled insights into the Ptolemaic dynasty's architectural and cultural grandeur, drawing comparisons to the discovery of Pompeii. However, Alexandria reveals its secrets from beneath the waves, providing a unique lens through which to view ancient urban planning and religious practices. When compared to other ancient submerged cities like Baiae or Pavlopetri, Alexandria's ruins underscore the city's cosmopolitan nature, standing as a testament to its role as a center of commerce, culture, and knowledge. Alexandria's position as a cultural and economic hub in the ancient world is further emphasized by the diversity of artifacts found, echoing the melting pot of cultures found in Silk Road cities like Samarkand. The discovery of remnants believed to be part of the Pharos Lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, underscores Alexandria's advanced engineering and pivotal role in ancient navigation, much like the Great Wall of China's significance in its own civilization. The successful exploration of Alexandria's underwater ruins not only advances our understanding of ancient civilizations, but also inspires further technological innovation in underwater archaeology. This quest to uncover the past mirrors how the space race propelled aerospace technology, demonstrating the impact of historical exploration on modern advancement. Moreover, the cultural resonance of these discoveries, akin to the fascination sparked by the discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb, highlights the enduring allure of Egypt's ancient civilizations. Exhibitions of artifacts from Alexandria's underwater ruins have captured the global public imagination. Delving into the depths of the Mediterranean, the underwater excavations of Alexandria have unveiled treasures that paint a vivid picture of a city steeped in glory and history. Among the ruins and relics, a myriad of statues, sphinxes, and architectural marvels whisper tales of ancient Alexandria's cultural and artistic zenith. One of the most breathtaking discoveries is a giant statue believed to depict Ptolemy II, an emblem of the fusion between Hellenistic and Egyptian influences that characterize the Ptolemaic dynasty. Crafted from red granite, this colossal figure stands as a bridge between 2 worlds, reminiscent of the grand colossi of Memnon in Luxor, Egypt, and underscoring the tradition of monumental sculpture that flourished in ancient Egyptian culture. The seabed also revealed sphinxes and statues of Egyptian gods and goddesses. These findings not only highlight the Ptolemies' efforts to weave together their Greek heritage with the rich tapestry of Egyptian religious symbolism. The sphinxes, majestic with their lion bodies and human heads, serve as symbols of the ruler's wisdom and power, reflecting the broader narrative of Greek and Egyptian cultural intermingling. Furthermore, the recovery of architectural fragments from Alexandria's waters provides a window into the city's architectural prowess and urban planning. columns, capitals, and friezes bear witness to a city where Egyptian, Greek, and Roman influences converged, creating a unique aesthetic that mirrored Alexandria's identity as a melting pot of civilizations. This aspect of the discoveries draws parallels with the archaeological finds in ancient Rome, where a similar amalgamation of architectural styles speaks to a rich, interconnected Mediterranean world. The excavation also brought to light an assortment of pottery and jewelry, offering glimpses into the daily lives, trade, and artistic expressions of Alexandria's denizens. The variety of pottery, from utilitarian domestic vessels to elaborately decorated ceremonial pieces, suggests a society of complex social strata and diverse needs. Meanwhile, the jewelry, gold earrings, necklaces, and rings, often embellished with precious stones, underscores Alexandria's affluence and its pivotal role in the trade networks that crisscrossed the Mediterranean. These artifacts not only revealed the city's artistic flair, but also its connections to a wider world. Through these discoveries, the underwater ruins of Alexandria continue to fascinate and enlighten, offering a mosaic of insights into one of antiquity's most magnificent cities. When divers stumbled upon a shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera in 1901, little did they know they were about to uncover one of the most astonishing artifacts of the ancient world, the Antikythera mechanism. Often hailed as the world's first analog computer, this device, dating back to around 100 BCE, is a marvel of ancient engineering and scientific knowledge. With its intricate system of over 30 bronze gears housed in a wooden frame, the mechanism was designed to predict lunar and solar eclipses, track the cycles of the Olympic Games, and model the moon's complex orbit, showcasing a level of technological sophistication that seems centuries ahead of its time. But what's truly fascinating about the Antikythera mechanism isn't just its complexity and precision. It also served as an astronomical and calendar device, capable of calculating the positions of the sun, moon, and perhaps even the planets. It featured dials for the zodiac and solar calendar, embedding celestial phenomena within the fabric of timekeeping in ancient Greek society. Inscriptions on the device acted as a user guide, revealing a profound understanding of astronomy and mathematics among its creators and users. While the origins of this extraordinary artifact remain speculative, many believe its connection to Alexandria isn't far-fetched. Known as the intellectual beacon of the Hellenistic world, Alexandria was home to the legendary library and the museum, a research institution that attracted scholars like Euclid, Hero, and Archimedes. Their contributions to mathematics, physics, and engineering could very well have influenced the creation of the Antikythera mechanism, suggesting it may have originated from this vibrant scientific community. In fact, some scholars posit that the principles behind the mechanism could have been inspired by Archimedes himself, although he lived earlier than the device's estimated creation date. The discovery of the Antikythera mechanism in a shipwreck hints at the extensive trade networks and cultural exchanges of the time, linking Alexandria with other Greek locales, including Antikythera. Such connections likely facilitated the spread of technological and scientific knowledge across the Mediterranean. The legacy of the Antikythera mechanism extends far beyond its historical and archaeological significance. It stands as a testament to the technological achievements of the ancient Greeks, challenging our perceptions of ancient technology and highlighting their sophisticated understanding of mechanical devices. Modern scientists and engineers have drawn inspiration from this ancient marvel, leading to new discoveries about ancient science and technology, and even the development of replicas using ancient techniques. Ongoing research, employing advanced imaging techniques, continues to unveil the secrets of the Antikythera mechanism, offering insights not just into the device itself, but also into the scientific and cultural milieu of the Hellenistic period. Through the lens of this remarkable artifact, we gain a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity of the ancient world, particularly the pivotal role played by Alexandria in fostering a legacy of innovation and knowledge that continues to inspire to this day.
But he found evidence of deliberate burial in a very complicated, difficult cave system, which you can hardly access. The archaeological establishment descended on him like a ton of bricks and tried to find all kinds of reasons why it couldn't possibly be.
Did you know about the mysterious Osiris shaft hidden away on the Giza Plateau? This intriguing archaeological site, tucked away from the more famous Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, has a story that's slowly been coming to light over the years. While the big monuments grabbed all the early attention, the Osiris shaft waited quietly for its turn in the spotlight.
Would it be fair to say that there's an element of a rediscovery of a lost technology from the past?
I think it would be fair to say that, yes.
It wasn't just another hole in the ground. This shaft held secrets of ancient Egyptian civilization and their religious practices that were only beginning to be uncovered. It's fascinating to think that this place was just sitting there, known since the late 19th century but not getting much love from explorers. They were all dazzled by the pyramids and Sphinx.
I don't know how they did it. All I know is they did it. I don't think anybody knows how they did it, how they lifted those stones, how they brought them up to that level. I think we're looking, again, at a lost technology.
But as it turns out, the Osiris shaft had its own tale to tell, one that required a bit of patience to fully appreciate. Enter the 1990s and things started to change. That's when Zahi Hawass, a name many of you might recognize, took the reins and decided it was time to give the Osiris shaft the attention it deserved. Under his guidance, a thorough exploration began, peeling back the layers of its complex architecture. What they found was a marvel, a glimpse into the depth of Egyptian religious thought and engineering prowess. But getting to the heart of the Osiris shaft wasn't a walk in the park. The team faced the massive challenge of pumping out water that had filled its lower levels, especially the third level that was partially underwater.
But what happened a few years ago, that the water began to rise in front of the Sphinx temple outside. Then I was really afraid that this water can damage the Sphinx.
Imagine the effort it took to bring in modern pumping equipment and clear out all that water just to access the deepest secrets of the shaft. Its 3 levels diving deep into the earth turned out to be a fascinating puzzle of architecture, burial customs, and hidden treasures. The first thing that caught their eyes was the shaft's design itself. It's a marvel of ancient engineering, with each level serving its own mysterious purpose. Down at the very bottom, a large stone sarcophagus sits in a chamber that's partly underwater, painting a vivid picture of the ancient Egyptian underworld right there beneath our feet. It's as if they built their own version of the afterlife hidden deep in the Giza plateau. But then there's the second level with its 6 empty burial shafts. Imagine the archaeologists' surprise finding them all vacant. It sparked so many questions. Were they plundered, or were they never meant to hold anything in the first place? This level offers a glimpse into the burial practices and rituals of the time, even if it leaves us guessing about some of the details. Despite the lack of inscriptions, a kind of ancient billboard that could have told us exactly who made this and when, the bits and pieces found throughout the shaft speak volumes. Pottery shards, fragments of stone vessels, and other small artifacts serve as breadcrumbs leading us back in time, suggesting that the Osiris shaft might hail from the New Kingdom period. It's like detective work, where every clue helps build a case for when this incredible structure came into being. But perhaps the most touching finds were the mummified remains tucked away in the smaller chambers around that central sarcophagus. It's one thing to study the grand monuments and temples, but it's another to come face to face with the people themselves. Analyzing these remains gives us a rare peek into the lives of those who once walked the streets of ancient Egypt, what they ate, how they lived, and maybe even how they died. Let's talk about Osiris for a moment. He's not your average deity, he's the ancient Egyptian god of the afterlife, death, and rebirth. The story goes that Osiris was betrayed by his brother Set, leading to a saga of death, dismemberment, and a resurrection that sounds like it came straight out of a blockbuster movie. His wife Isis put him back together and brought him back to life. Osiris's story is a cornerstone of Egyptian mythology, embodying the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And guess what? The Osiris shaft is like a 3-dimensional tribute to this epic tale. Down in the depths of the shaft, there's this chamber filled with water that's believed to represent the underworld. Imagine standing there in front of a large stone sarcophagus that's meant to symbolize Osiris's tomb. It's not just a tomb, it's a symbol of his journey through death and his role as the ruler of the afterlife. But why build such a place? Well, one theory is that the Osiris shaft was a venue for initiation rites. Think of it as a spiritual boot camp where participants would undergo trials, symbolizing death and rebirth, much like Osiris did. These rites weren't just for show. They were believed to impart secret knowledge and bring about a spiritual transformation in the initiates. Some even speculate that the shaft's design was guided by the stars, aligning with celestial bodies that the ancient Egyptians associated with Osiris and the afterlife. It's as if the shaft was a bridge between Earth and the heavens, a physical representation of the soul's journey after death. What's truly fascinating is how the physical structure of the Osiris shaft and the artifacts found within echo the ancient texts like the Pyramid texts and the Book of the Dead. These texts offer a glimpse into the Egyptian view of the afterlife, complete with references to water, boats, and, yes, the significance of sarcophagi. It's like the shaft is a stone-bound version of these ancient scrolls, a tangible connection to the beliefs and rituals of a civilization long gone. Buried deep within the limestone bedrock, the Osiris shaft. It's a three-level maze that masterfully blends practicality with a touch of the mystical. Let's dive into what makes the architecture and structure of the Osiris shaft so fascinating. First off, the way this shaft was designed and built is nothing short of amazing. It shows just how advanced the ancient Egyptians were in their planning and building techniques. The precision with which they carved out these chambers from the bedrock really makes you wonder about their deep understanding of the earth beneath them. At the entrance, you're greeted by a rectangular opening that starts your descent into the depths. This isn't just a hole in the ground, it's a carefully carved vertical shaft dropping down about 10 meters. Imagine the effort it took to remove all that limestone, using tools made from harder stones and metals, and even ropes and wooden scaffolding. It's a testament to their engineering skills. The first chamber you hit is pretty modest. No flashy decorations or treasures, but its simplicity might have been the point. It's like a waiting room or a space for getting ready for something more profound down below. Maybe even for some kind of purification rites. But the real intrigue starts when you go deeper to the second level. Here, there's another shaft leading down another 20 meters, and this chamber is a bit more complex. These shafts could have been meant for actual burials, or perhaps as a representation of the journey to the afterlife. The third level is where things get even more dramatic. You go down another shaft, and this time you're 30 meters below the surface. Here lies a large stone sarcophagus, right in the center of the chamber. This isn't just a burial place, it's a symbolic representation of Osiris's tomb. The fact that this chamber is partially filled with water from the natural aquifer adds to the mystique, tying it to themes of rebirth and purification in Egyptian mythology. Graham Hancock is a name that often sparks lively discussions whenever ancient civilizations are mentioned.
There are huge corporations that have very large investments in a particular path of technology. Sure. For somebody to come up with a whole new path of technology, it's very threatening to them.
Known for his captivating books like Fingerprints of the Gods and Magicians of the Gods, Hancock is no stranger to controversy, especially with his theories that challenge the mainstream archaeological narrative. Today, let's dive into how Hancock's unconventional ideas might shed new light on the mysterious Osiris shaft.
They fell there, something like that.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them.
Over many years.
And somehow buried themselves under the topsoil.
At the core of Hancock's theories is the tantalizing notion of a lost advanced civilization. This isn't just any civilization, but one that supposedly predates all known history, equipped with knowledge in astronomy, architecture, and mathematics that far exceeds what we'd expect from our ancient ancestors. Hancock might say the Osiris shaft, with its intricate design and possible astronomical alignments, serves as a kind of time capsule from this sophisticated society. Could it be that this ancient marvel is much older than we think, or that it was built with wisdom handed down from this enigmatic civilization? Hancock's fascination doesn't stop at architecture. He's also keenly interested in how these ancient structures align with the stars. While he hasn't specifically pinpointed the Osiris shaft in his star maps, it's easy to imagine it fitting neatly into his grand scheme of things. Could the shaft's orientation hint at a connection to celestial events or constellations tied to Osiris and the themes of death and rebirth? Hancock's work suggests that many of Egypt's ancient monuments are part of a larger cosmic blueprint, and the Osiris shaft might just be another piece of that puzzle. One of the more dramatic elements of Hancock's theories involves global cataclysms, particularly those caused by comet impacts around 12,800 to 11,600 years ago, during what's known as the Younger Dryas. He proposes that these catastrophic events could have wiped out the advanced civilization he theorizes about. So, when we look at the water filling the lower levels of the Osiris shaft, Hancock might see it as more than just groundwater seepage. He could interpret it as a deliberate nod to the ancient deluges, a symbol of the world-altering floods that his hypothesized civilization endured. Do you think there have been multiple ancient cataclysms?
And on the pedestal, these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away.
We see them in textbooks, these iconic images: sand, ramps, legions of workers straining under the desert sun. We're told they built the pyramids, stone by colossal stone, with nothing but muscle, rope, and wood. But what if that story, the one we've accepted for centuries, is wrong? What if it's not just improbable, but physically, demonstrably impossible? We're not talking about moving small stones here. We're talking about blocks weighing as much as 1,000 tons, transported hundreds of miles, hoisted hundreds of feet into the air. The Colossi of Memnon, 720 tons each, from a quarry near Cairo. Think about that. That's the weight of a modern building. How were they moved over 400 miles? Or this, the shattered remains of a statue that once weighed over 1,000 tons. A single piece of granite. It would take the largest truck, an engineering marvel of today, to even think about moving it. The official story crumbles under its own weight. They say sleds, but wood would pulverize under that pressure. They say boats. But no ancient vessel could handle that load, even if they could sail against the current. So what are we left with? Lost technology? A forgotten cataclysm? A civilization far more advanced than we ever imagined, predating even the pharaohs? The stones themselves whisper a different story. Saw marks, drill holes that defy explanation, evidence of a precision that shouldn't exist. We think we know our history, but the truth is etched in these silent giants, a mystery that challenges everything we believe. They stand as a testament not just to human ingenuity, but perhaps to something far more profound. They are a challenge, asking us one very important question. What do we really know?
We're taught that ancient Egyptians built the pyramids with ramps and sledges. But what if I told you that the accepted story is not only improbable, but potentially impossible? What if the truth is far stranger, hinting at lost technologies and a history more complex than we ever imagined? We're not just talking about moving a few big rocks. We're talking about stones weighing up to 1,000 tons, 2 million pounds, transported hundreds of miles and hoisted hundreds of feet in the air. And the Egyptians? They conveniently left us zero explanation. No blueprints, no diagrams, nothing. Let's start with the Great Pyramid of Giza. Inside, you'll find 70-80-ton granite blocks, sourced from the Aswan quarry, over 500 miles away. We're talking about stones heavier than a modern Abrams tank, used not just for the base, but in the King's Chamber and the Grand Gallery, hundreds of feet above the ground. The Diary of Mira, a 4,500-year-old papyrus, does describe limestone transport by boat, but these were for smaller blocks and a much shorter distance. It is a far cry from proving the movement of these much larger granite stones. Even Herodotus, the father of history, who visited Egypt centuries later, only describes the use of levers for lifting stones to build the pyramid, a totally implausible explanation, as you will soon see. But Giza's giants are dwarfed by other enigmas. Enter the Colossi of Memnon in Luxor, two seated statues, each carved from a single piece of quartzite, weighing a mind-boggling 720 tons each. They stand over 60 feet tall. You have to see them in person to grasp their immensity. Their pedestals alone weigh hundreds of tons. Now, here's where it gets even weirder. These statues originally came from a quarry near Cairo, almost 400 miles away by road. How did they get to Luxor? Modern Egyptologists point to the Nile, but there's a glaring problem. No evidence exists of any ancient Egyptian vessel capable of carrying even a fraction of that weight. Plus, they would have had to sail against the Nile's current. The idea that these were dragged on wooden sleds is equally absurd. The sheer weight would have crushed the wood and embedded it into the very earth. We're talking about forces that defy our understanding of basic physics, especially with Bronze Age technology. This starts us down the path of questioning. Did they have help from technology that has been lost to time? Or is the timeline of these creations off, created by a civilization long before the dynastic Egyptians that possessed advanced knowledge? But wait, it gets even crazier. In the Ramesseum, we find the shattered remains of a statue that once weighed an estimated 1,000 tons. A single piece of granite, transported at least 115 miles from Aswan. This single statue is double the maximum payload of the Belaz 75710, the world's largest ultra-class haul truck, a modern marvel of engineering that can barely carry 496 tons. It becomes harder to deny that we are missing a huge piece of the puzzle when trying to understand how these statues were moved and created. This statue, by the way, was the inspiration for Percy Bysshe Shelley's famous poem Ozymandias, a meditation on the ephemeral nature of power. Ironically, the statue's destruction is as mysterious as its creation. What force could have shattered this 1,000-ton monolith? It was seated, making a simple toppling unlikely. Was it a catastrophic earthquake? Sabotage on a scale we can't comprehend? Or evidence of a forgotten cataclysm, as proposed by alternative historians like Graham Hancock, who argue for a lost advanced civilization predating the dynastic Egyptians? They point to the precision and scale of these monuments as evidence that they were built by a civilization with technology far beyond what we know of Bronze Age Egypt. Let's bring this back to the present. In 2012, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art undertook a project called Levitated Mass. They moved a 340-ton granite boulder 106 miles. It required a custom-built trailer, 206 feet long, with 196 wheels. It took 11 nights, moving at a snail's pace, and cost a staggering $10 million. This was hailed as an engineering feat, yet it involved a stone less than half the weight of the Colossi of Memnon, which were moved much farther, and a mere third the weight of the Ramesseum statue. Now, mainstream Egyptology often depicts armies of workers dragging stones on sleds, lubricated by water or oil. But these depictions are often based on much smaller stones, like the 64-ton statue shown in one wall carving, being pulled a very short distance, nowhere near the scale we're discussing. Could these illustrations be artistic representations of much earlier techniques, misinterpreted or even deliberately downplayed by later pharaohs to enhance their own achievements? It's worth noting that many pharaohs were known to usurp and repurpose earlier monuments, claiming them as their own. The evidence suggests something extraordinary was at play. Some researchers, like Christopher Dunn, author of Lost Technologies of Ancient Egypt, proposed that the Egyptians possessed advanced machining tools, capable of precision cuts and movements far beyond what's possible with copper chisels and stone hammers. He points to evidence of saw marks and drill holes that suggest the use of high-speed tools. Could they have harnessed a form of energy we haven't rediscovered? Some theorize about acoustic levitation or other lost technologies, ideas often dismissed as pseudoscience, but perhaps deserving a second look given the sheer impossibility of the conventional explanations. It's not hard to start questioning everything we think we know about ancient Egypt when faced with these facts. Consider also the orientation of the pyramids. They are aligned with astonishing precision to the cardinal directions, a feat that would have required advanced surveying and astronomical knowledge. Some researchers, like Robert Bovell, have even proposed a correlation between the layout of the Giza pyramids and the constellation of Orion, suggesting a level of celestial planning that defies our understanding of ancient Egyptian capabilities. We like to think we have a handle on the past, that our history books tell a complete and accurate story. But the stones of Egypt whisper a different tale, one of forgotten knowledge, advanced capabilities, and perhaps a civilization lost to time. It is in our best interest to not outright dismiss alternative theories. As Shelley wrote in Ozymandias, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." Perhaps the despair comes not from the might of Ozymandias, but from the realization that we are still utterly clueless about how these works were accomplished. The mystery remains, etched in stone, a challenge to our understanding of the past and a tantalizing hint of a history far more profound than we ever dared to imagine.
He knew a mystery when he saw it, and he couldn't explain it. We should be open-minded enough to consider the possibility that some of the answers may sit outside of our current perspective.
What do conventional archaeologists say when they're confronted by all of this data?
Ever wondered what went on inside those magnificent pyramids of ancient Egypt? Well, buckle up, because we're about to delve into the fascinating world of the ancient pyramid texts. These inscriptions carved onto the pyramid walls around 2400 to 2300 BCE are like a window into the hearts and minds of the people who built these incredible structures. These texts weren't just random scribbles, they were meticulously crafted during a pivotal period in Egyptian history, the twilight of the Old Kingdom. This era is famous for the iconic pyramids, those towering tombs for pharaohs. The pyramids themselves are a testament to the Egyptians' architectural genius and their deep understanding of math and engineering. But the pyramid texts are more than just historical footnotes. They're the earliest known religious writings from Egypt, offering a glimpse into the beliefs and practices of this ancient civilization. They're like cultural snapshots showing how art, architecture, and religion were all woven together. The pyramids themselves were seen as the ultimate expression of both religious devotion and the pharaoh's supreme power. Speaking of power, the pharaohs of the Old Kingdom weren't just seen as leaders, they were considered living gods. This concept of divine kingship was the glue that held society together, justifying the pharaoh's absolute authority. The pyramid texts are all about this. They're basically spells and instructions meant to help the pharaoh navigate the afterlife and join the gods, further solidifying the idea of their godlike status. Imagine a society where the pharaoh is at the top of the pyramid, wielding immense power. That's exactly what the Old Kingdom was like. This centralized system allowed them to mobilize the massive resources and manpower needed to build the pyramids. It also meant the government had a tight grip on things, controlling people and resources to a great extent. But running a complex society like this wasn't a walk in the park. It required a well-oiled bureaucratic machine, and that's what the Egyptians had. This network of officials kept things running smoothly, organizing labor, managing resources, and handling the countless details of daily life. It was a sophisticated system for a sophisticated society. We've talked about the cultural significance of the pyramid texts and the social structure of the Old Kingdom, but how did they manage to pull off such massive building projects? Building a pyramid wasn't like putting together a piece of IKEA furniture. It required serious resources and manpower. Imagine this: hauling giant blocks of stone, transporting them for miles, and feeding a whole army of workers for years on end. That's what the Egyptians had to do to build the pyramids. It was a massive undertaking, requiring a well-oiled economic engine. Here's where things get interesting. Contrary to popular belief, the pyramids weren't built by slaves, but by a paid workforce. These workers were likely skilled laborers, artisans, and even seasonal workers, and they were treated pretty well. We found evidence of medical care, food, and even some form of compensation. So how could they afford all this? The answer lies in a concept called economic surplus. Basically, they had enough resources left over after taking care of basic needs like food and shelter to invest in these grand projects. This surplus came from their mastery of agriculture thanks to the Nile River's annual floods. These floods enriched the land and allowed them to grow more food than they needed to survive, freeing up people to work on other things like, you guessed it, building pyramids. But the pyramids are more than just piles of stone, they're symbols too. Many believe they represent the rays of the sun, a pathway for the pharaoh's soul to reach the heavens. This symbolism is deeply connected to the pyramid texts, which are filled with references to the sun god Ra. It all goes back to the Egyptians' belief system, where religion, royalty, and the universe were all interconnected. Speaking of connections, the pyramid texts are like the great-grandparents of later Egyptian religious texts. They paved the way for things like the coffin texts and the Book of the Dead. These later texts show how Egyptian beliefs evolved over time, adapting and becoming more accessible to people beyond just the pharaohs. So we've explored the economic engine behind the pyramids and the deeper meaning they hold. But let's not forget the pyramids themselves. They weren't just giant piles of stone. They were meticulously designed and built with a specific purpose in mind. Imagine these pyramids as giant tombs. built to house the bodies and possessions of pharaohs after they passed away. But they weren't just storage units. They were designed to help the pharaoh's soul on its journey to the afterlife, and that's where the pyramid texts come in. These inscriptions were like a guidebook for the pharaoh's soul, offering spells and protection every step of the way. The most famous pyramid containing these texts belongs to Unas, the last ruler of the 5th dynasty. His pyramid, located in Saqqara, was the first to include these inscriptions, paving the way for future pharaohs to follow suit. Think of it like a new trend. Once Unas did it, other pharaohs like Teti, Pepi Bawam, and even Pepi II decided they wanted pyramid texts too. These texts weren't just scribbled on any old piece of papyrus. They were painstakingly carved into the very walls of the pyramids by skilled artisans. Imagine the dedication and precision it took to etch those intricate hieroglyphs into stone. This not only shows the skill of the craftsman, but also highlights the importance of the texts themselves. They were considered so sacred and valuable that they deserved a permanent and prominent place within the pyramids. Speaking of sacredness, these texts were like the holy scripts of their time. They contained spells, prayers, and hymns, all designed to ensure the pharaoh's safe passage to the afterlife and even his transformation into a god. The fact that they were placed inside the pyramids, which were themselves seen as sacred spaces, further emphasizes their importance. But here's the interesting part. Initially, these texts were an exclusive club. Only the pharaohs got to enjoy their benefits, further solidifying their divine status in society. It kind of reflects the hierarchical structure of the time, where access to certain religious practices and texts was restricted to the privileged few. However, things eventually changed. Over time, the concepts and spells found in the pyramid texts started to trickle down to the broader Egyptian population. This led to the development of the coffin texts, and later the famous Book of the Dead. These later texts mark a turning point, making spells and rituals for the afterlife more accessible, not just for the pharaohs but for regular people too. So the pyramid texts, originally exclusive to the pharaohs, became the seed for a more democratic approach to the afterlife in ancient Egypt. Now, imagine unearthing a piece of history that rewrites what we know about writing. That's exactly what happened in the 1920s when the Kish tablet was discovered in the ancient city of Kish, Mesopotamia. This wasn't just any clay tablet. It was a game changer, offering a glimpse into the very origins of writing and the fascinating society that developed it. Kish was no ordinary town. Located along the Euphrates River, it was a bustling hub of trade, politics, and culture, attracting people from far and wide. This melting pot of cultures likely played a key role in the birth of writing, as different people brought their own symbols and ways of record-keeping, eventually leading to the development of proto-cuneiform script. The discovery of the Kish tablet itself is a story of collaboration. Archaeologists from the Field Museum of Natural History, led by Stephen Langdon, joined forces with other experts to uncover the secrets of Kish. Back then, excavation techniques were evolving, becoming more systematic and meticulous, which was crucial for carefully preserving and documenting this historic find. But what's so special about this tablet? Well, the writing system on it is like a Rosetta Stone of the ancient world. It's one of the earliest examples of written communication, showcasing the transition from picture-based symbols to the complex wedge-shaped script known as cuneiform. This shift reflects the growing complexity of Sumerian society, as people needed new ways to keep track of things. The creation and use of the Kish tablet also hint at a well-organized society. Imagine a city-state managing resources, governing its people, and even engaging in trade with other regions. Writing wasn't just about leaving messages, it was essential for recording transactions, laws, and important decisions. But the impact of writing goes beyond practicalities. It opened doors for cultural expression and the preservation of knowledge. With writing, the Sumerians could record their myths, laws, and historical events, ensuring they weren't lost to time. This paved the way for the rich literary traditions that flourished in the ancient Near East. The Kish tablet is a reminder that writing wasn't just a random invention. It was a necessity for keeping complex societies running smoothly. It also opened doors for cultural exchange and the preservation of knowledge across generations. This discovery continues to spark debates among scholars, with some questioning whether writing originated independently in Mesopotamia or was influenced by other cultures. The mystery surrounding the exact function and content of the tablet adds to its allure, making it a captivating piece of history that continues to captivate archaeologists and historians alike.
There's something called the Osiris Shaft, which is located directly under the causeway between the Sphinx and the second pyramid. It goes about 100 feet underground. It's carved out of the limestone bedrock. It's the creepiest place I've ever been in my life. It's disturbing. So it's 3 different shafts, and you go down, and here's where it gets, this is the crazy part. When you get to the 3rd level, which is completely dark and freaky, there was a side tunnel. Zahi Hawass himself, there was a documentary, went down there, and he's standing in front of this tunnel that went sideways, and he says, it's yet to be explored, and I don't know what's down there, but Joe, they've since sealed it up. It's like cinder blocks, they sealed it up.
What?
Yes! There are things that have gone underground in Egypt that, for whatever reason, Joe, is just off limits to the public.
Beneath the Giza Plateau, near the Great Sphinx and pyramids, lies a mysterious structure that may reshape our understanding of ancient Egypt. Known as the Osiris Shaft, this subterranean complex challenges conventional timelines. Could it predate the pyramids? And what was its true purpose? Recent discoveries and a groundbreaking dating method have led Egyptologists to rethink what they thought they knew about this ancient civilization. The Osiris Shaft descends 35 meters into the bedrock beneath the causeway leading to the Sphinx. It comprises multiple levels, with the lowest chamber housing a granite sarcophagus surrounded by water. This chamber is sometimes referred to as the Tomb of Osiris. But what exactly was this structure intended for? Its purpose remains shrouded in mystery, with no clear answers in sight. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Osiris Shaft is the unusual material used in one of the sarcophagi. Egyptologists discovered a stone unlike anything previously found in Egypt. How did it end up here, deep in the bedrock? Even stranger, the structure itself seems to have been designed without easy access in mind. There are no steps or ladders leading down to its depths. The ones installed now were placed there by modern archaeologists, suggesting that the ancient builders had no intention of facilitating frequent visits. The logistics of moving the massive sarcophagi, some weighing up to 40 tons, further deepen the mystery. How were they lowered with such precision into the shaft, which itself was not designed for easy entry or exit? The precision required to lower these gigantic objects without error suggests a technological ability that we do not fully understand. One sarcophagus found on the 2nd level was particularly remarkable. It was covered in a thin film of bitumen, with a metallic coating beneath it. This metal, containing elements like lead and zinc, is puzzling. Why use a metallic coating inside a sarcophagus? Lead, in particular, raises questions, as it is known today for its use in radiation shielding. Could the ancient Egyptians have been aware of this? Moreover, measurements showed unusually high levels of gamma radiation inside the sarcophagus, further hinting at a function beyond burial. The method used to date one of these sarcophagi, called optical thermoluminescence, measures the last time the stone was exposed to light. The results suggested a date as far back as 3350 BCE, centuries before the accepted construction dates of the pyramids. This implies that the Osiris Shaft could predate the pyramids and the earliest dynasties of Egypt. What's even more curious is the material of one sarcophagus, dacite, an igneous rock not found anywhere in Egypt. In fact, after consulting with geologists, it was confirmed that there are no significant dacite deposits in Africa large enough to produce a sarcophagus of this size. This means the stone was transported from outside the continent, perhaps from Europe or the Black Sea. The logistics of transporting a 40-ton block of stone across seas and deserts remains a mystery. Why didn't the builders use locally sourced granite or basalt, which would have been far easier to acquire? This discovery challenges long-standing views on ancient Egypt's chronology. The dating method used reveals a time well before the pyramids, offering a glimpse into a distant past. Could the Osiris Shaft represent the work of a forgotten civilization, one whose achievements have been lost to time? As we explore the depths of the shaft, more questions emerge. Was the shaft's design deliberate, meant to preserve the dead using unknown methods? Could the high radiation levels within the sarcophagi have played a role in ancient preservation techniques? The builders of this structure may have known things we have yet to uncover. As archaeologists delve deeper into the Osiris shaft, they challenge established notions of ancient Egypt. On the third and deepest level, a stone island surrounded by water holds yet another granite sarcophagus. This time, the sarcophagus is made of granite, a material more common in Egyptian structures. However, its location deep underground and surrounded by water raises further questions. This sarcophagus dates to around 2370 BCE, placing it in the Old or Middle Kingdom. Interestingly, the design of the third level seems to be a later addition to the shaft, suggesting the site may have been used and modified over centuries. If true, this means the Osiris shaft was considered important long before the time of the pyramids. One of the most intriguing features of the third level is the water system. A meticulously shaped canal surrounds the chamber, and the water level appears to be maintained at a precise depth. How did the builders engineer such a system over 100 feet underground? The bedrock in this area is solid, making natural water leaks unlikely. This suggests that the builders tapped into a hidden water source, possibly through an underground channel or spring. At the Osirion, another ancient Egyptian site, similar subterranean water channels have been discovered, indicating that the ancient builders had advanced knowledge of hydroengineering. Water was often seen as a source of life and regeneration, and its presence in the Osiris shaft may have had symbolic significance in ancient rituals related to death and rebirth. This brings us to the connection between the shaft and Osiris, the Egyptian god of the dead and the underworld. According to myth, Osiris was resurrected in a sarcophagus placed on an island surrounded by water. The third level of the shaft closely mirrors this imagery. Could the builders have been trying to replicate the tomb of Osiris? Or was this part of a deeper religious practice? Oddly, the sarcophagi found in the Osiris shaft are devoid of inscriptions, which is unusual for ancient Egyptian tombs. This absence of hieroglyphs has led some scholars to suggest that these sarcophagi were not intended for traditional burials, but served a different, perhaps secretive, purpose. Adding to the mystery, researchers detected significant levels of radiation inside the sarcophagi. Combined with the lead coating found on the second level, this suggests that the sarcophagi might have had an advanced preservative function, something we do not yet fully understand. If the ancient Egyptians had knowledge of radiation's effects on preservation, it would represent a technological leap far beyond what we currently attribute to their civilization. Beyond the physical mysteries, the Osiris shaft raises important questions about the origins of Egyptian civilization. The dating of the second-level sarcophagus to as early as 3350 BCE points to a pre-dynastic origin, making the shaft one of the oldest structures in Egypt. As we continue to investigate the Osiris shaft, the possibility of discovering hidden chambers, artifacts, or tunnels remains high. The Osiris shaft is rewriting our understanding of ancient Egypt and perhaps even pointing to a forgotten chapter in human history. If you enjoyed this video, then prepare to embark on an extraordinary journey. Our next adventure takes us to the heart of Egypt, where we'll unravel the mystery surrounding an ancient pharaoh shrouded in legend. This extraordinary ruler was said to be half human, reigning for an astonishing 16,000 years, a feat that defies the boundaries of modern science. It's a story filled with intrigue and enigma, one that's bound to leave you questioning the very limits of our understanding.
Thoth talks in the Emerald Tablets about being able to go into these halls of Amenti where he had rejuvenation chambers, which is what I believe is the Serapeum of Saqqara. And he would go into these gigantic stone boxes, and he would then transfer his consciousness from his body into another body. And he would leave the body that he left inside of one of those gigantic boxes, one of those gigantic diorite stone boxes for 100 years while it recharged itself and rejuvenated. While he said he walks amongst men, but unlike a man. And he would do this for eons. He would transfer from body to body, not bodies he stole, bodies he created, that he created himself through probably some of the advanced form of stem cell technology. And he would walk amongst men, but unlike a man. And he was known all around the planet. And it's an incredible tablet that talks about the reigns of kings.
Yeah.
Some kings ruled for 28,800 years, 14,000 years. I mean, 20,000. If the numbers are insane.
These are not Egyptian?
This is no, not Egyptian. These are Anunnaki